watching the YES Network, the home of champions.
The second half of the Yankee season began with a bang. The loud start was a portent of things to come as the Bombers swept away an all-star game rust. Some picked up where they left off, while one was picked up after they left off. The Yankees have been waiting for this whole lineup to come together, and this past weekend, all aspects clicked, as a potential runaway didn't seem that far-fetched. A see ya to the rest of the East is not out of the realm as we move closer to the close. Yankees Blue Jays next on YES. Well, the Blue Jays are flying into town. Another big crowd expected here at Yankee Stadium. And tonight, the YES Network presents New York Yankees baseball. The New York Yankees take on the Toronto Blue Jays in the first game of a two-game set from Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Yankees baseball. Along with Jim Kaat and Ken Singleton, I'm Michael Kay. Well, the Yankees took care of business right out of the gate from the All-Star game. They took 4 in a row from the Cleveland Indians, all in impressive fashion. And the guy that was right in the middle of it, jump-starting the whole thing, was Derek Jeter. And that has certainly been the case since the beginning of this month.
Boy, Derek Jeter can beat you in a lot of ways. He can do it with the bat. This is what he did against Cleveland when the Yankees were down 2. He got a pitch from David Riskey, down and in, 2-run homer. That tied the game. Yankees went on to win. And he can do it. Yeah, that deserved a curtain call. He can do it with his legs. Bases loaded, 3-2. Look where he is. He's around second base by the time Jason Giambi hits this ball. He scores on a single, and he is having some kind of July.
In due respect to Buster Poindexter, he is hot, hot, hot. Month of July, 463, 25 for 54, 9 ribbies, 11 runs scored. And against Toronto, he likes it. 7 games, 360 batting average, a home run, and 3 runs batted in. Now, speaking of hot, it's not only confined to 1 month for this guy. Carlos Delgado has had a first half of the ages. He's calmed down just a little bit, but boy, the numbers are incredible, Kenny.
Yeah, he's the most dangerous hitter in the league after the first half of the season, closing in on 100 RBIs. He's hitting over 400 with runners in scoring position, but he doesn't need them in position. He can do it by himself. This was earlier against the Yankees and Andy Pettitte. Not 1, but 2 home runs against Pettitte, the second on a high fastball, both of them almost to the same spot. Delgado is definitely dangerous.
Tied for Giambi with first in the American League in home runs. He's first in RBIs, first in runs scored against the Yankees. This year they have been unable to get him out. 14 games, a .392 batting average. He's hit 4 home runs and 15 runs batted in. So a great first half for Carlos Delgado. When we get back, we'll take a close look at the pitching matchup. Jeff Weaver will try to follow up on his last start, a great outing against the Blue Jays at Sky Dome. We'll explore it further when we get back, coming up next on YES.
You can be a professional fighter, and a good one, too. You win this fight, we're getting out of here. We can take this boy to the next level.
3 fights, $75 million.
Where do you want to go?
You can become a legend.
Where do you want to take me?
There's ways of doing this without you even knowing.
Are you threatening me?
These people, you ain't friends, man. You got something only a few people can do.
Why do you want to do it all the way?
I just want somebody who remembers me, that's all.
Well, the Yankees certainly don't want to flout their success this weekend against the Indians. They'd like a continuation of it, though. And tonight's pitching matchup is brought to you by Infiniti, makers of innovative, high-performance premium vehicles. Mark Hendrickson goes for the Blue Jays 5-6 with a 5.55 ERA. And Jeff Weaver for the Yankees, he's 5-7 with a 5.20 ERA.
Mark Hendrickson is a 6'9" left-hander, and he'll go against Jeff Weaver. Jeff is coming off the best start of the season. Why? He threw more fastballs for strikes, and as a result, it made his breaking ball better. He'll look for win number 6 tonight against the Blue Jays.
Well, Jeff Weaver will throw the first pitch in just a couple of moments. We'll have the Toronto lineup, Yankee defense, everything you need to enjoy Yankees Blue Jays next, right here on YES. The New York Yankees, the world's most successful sports franchise, are celebrating their historic 100th anniversary in 2003. On Thursday afternoon, July 24th, all fans 14 and under are going to receive a 100th anniversary t-shirt courtesy of Majestic Athletic. Come out to Yankee Stadium and join in the celebration of 100 years of greatness.
Yankees action is so hot, it's worth watching twice, and you'll see it all on Yankees Encore. When the game is over, relive the great plays of 2003 Yankees baseball. Because once is not enough, there's Yankees Encore, only on YES.
Well, it is a hot, humid evening here at Yankee Stadium. Pitchers will get loose quickly. Don't know if they'll run out of gas quickly, but two youngsters, relative youngsters, Jeff Weaver against Mark Hendrickson. Weaver's on the mound, taking his warm-ups. Let's take a look at the Blue Jay lineup he'll face. And the Blue Jay starting lineup presented by Dodge. The right fielder is Reed Johnson. He'll lead off, batting second, and playing left field, kid from Smithtown, Long Island, Frank Catalanato. Vernon Wells, the center fielder, will hit third, batting cleanup and DHing Carlos Delgado. Scary numbers against Weaver, 13 for 28. That's .464 with 1 home run. Newly acquired Bobby Kielty, the first baseman, will hit fifth. Batting sixth and playing third base, Eric Hinsky. The catcher is Tom Wilson. He'll hit seventh. Batting eighth and playing second base, Orlando Hudson. And Chris Woodward, the shortstop, will bat ninth.
And they'll face Jeff Weaver. 18th start, record still under 500. More than a hit per inning, as Kenny mentioned. In the open, he has given up the fewest home runs of any Yankee starter, and he's coming off really his best start against these same Blue Jays. This is the 4th time he'll face him.
Yes, scouting report with 3 times to be a charm. He's beaten them 2 of those first 3. Only 9 home runs allowed. I think that's his good, hard-moving, sinking fastball, and we showed you the numbers. Delgado is the dangerous man for Jeff Weaver.
A reminder, Yankee baseball is broadcast in Spanish. It's available by hitting the SAP button on your television. On the left, Armando Talavera, and on the right, Beto Villa. They call all the action on the Spanish side. Jeff Weaver's ready, so is Reed Johnson. We're ready for baseball. The first pitch is a strike as called by home plate umpire C.B. Buckner. Tim McClellan's at first, Tony Randazzo at second, and Ted Barrett is over at third. The 0-1 fouled away. 80-degree first pitch temperature here at the stadium.
You know, we're used to Alfonso Soriano starting games with home runs, but Reed Johnson did something earlier this year that's only been done 4 times in the history of the game. He led a game off with a homer and ended a game with a walk-off homer. Wow.
I tell you what, he's ready to hit. He doesn't step out of that batter's box. He must watch some of the old classic games. He's still got that right foot planted in the box.
And the 0-2 to Reed Johnson. Hit him. Pitch got away from Jeff Weaver, so Reed Johnson is on with a hit by pitch to start off the game.
And not a good idea to hit these Blue Jay right-hand hitters, because they got an awful lot of good lefties against a right-hander. And that one, you know, he's well enough off the plate. Weaver missed that by plenty. You saw Posada's target, but it was well inside.
You know what it is about these Blue Jay hitters? They've been hit more than any team in the league. That's number 51 for them.
Really?
Yeah, they're getting plunked left and right.
There's Frank Catalanato. Good lefty hitter. And the pitch is framed by Posada, but he couldn't buy a strike. The pitch outside. Catalanato got a big base hit against Mike Messina. A long, drawn-out battle. And Catalanato won that when the Yankees were in Toronto. And a big win for the Blue Jays on that base hit.
Last time the Blue Jays were here, they swept the Yankees, a 4-game series.
There's a strike.
Catalanato took an 0 for 4 in yesterday's game. That dropped him under 300. So just knocking on the door at 297. That's what he's done against Jeff Weaver.
And the 1-1. Foul back. The Blue Jays started the second half, taking 2 straight against the Red Sox, but then lost the final 2 of that 4-game set. That's what the Yankees have done against the Blue Jays. Yankees are up in the series 8-4. The average about the same. Yankees have scored more runs per game, or 8-6. Yankees have out-homered the Blue Jays by plenty, and they've outpitched them as well. but in 14 games, they've won 8. The 1-2. Slice foul.
Don't have to pay very close attention to the running game when you play the Blue Jays. You know, maybe if it's a close game late, but they don't steal bases, and you wouldn't think they'd hit and run a lot. They're pretty much a station to station, try to draw some walks, hit the ball out of the ballpark.
As a team, they have 16 stolen bases, and they've been caught 17 times.
Reed Johnson hustles back. They've only had 4 sacrifice bunts as well. The Blue Jays have stolen the least amount of bases in the American League, and the team they're modeled against is second, the Oakland Athletics, with 25. American League averages 53 stolen bases per team. 1-2. A good battle by Catalinato, making Weaver work early, and the count still 1-2. Catalinato is always hanging around the table with the pass list when the Blue Jays come into Yankee Stadium. His family's from Long Island, Smithtown.
Although you said it's not as bad as it used to be. I mean, you know, he's been in the league a number of years. People have been there, done that. You know, that sort of attitude.
Get tired of watching him. Right?
They all have the YES Network. The 1-2. Line drive, base hit to center field. That's a good at bat for Catalinato. Reed Johnson stops at second. Bernie Williams gets the ball into Jeter. And the Blue Jays are set up here in the first inning. First and second and nobody out.
That's one of those cases where it looks like because he fouled off some good fastballs, he talked him into throwing a breaking ball. And we pointed out that is not Jeff Weaver's best pitch, particularly to left-hand hitters. And this was right there on the tee for him.
Catalinato, and much in the way that when you're not hitting, 1 for his last 15, that's what you're supposed to do. Hit the ball right back through the middle, and it'll put a smile on your face.
Here's Vernon Wells, one of the Blue Jays All-Stars. And the pitch is outside.
Vernon Wells, to me, reminds me a bit of Albert Bell. He's got such quick hands. You notice that he doesn't hold the bat back a long ways. He holds it fairly close to his body. But he can get it through that hitting zone in a hurry.
A lot nicer guy than Albert was.
Might have hit into a double play. There's a toss to third. Jeter only gets 1. Smart play by Jeter. He couldn't go 2 to first, so he decided to just get the lead runner, which was a good play. Heads up by Zeal as well to receive the throw.
Yeah, that's good quick thinking by Derek. He sees the runner. Been difficult throw to second or first, so, and they're not going to double up, so take the sure out. And Todd Zeal right there to anticipate it.
And Derek's very effective with that backhand flip. We saw that a few years ago. Right on the money, as usual.
That is one of the hits in his songbook. We might even call it a signature move.
Sure. Andy Pettit has that same move. Saved him a game this year in Baltimore.
Here's Carlos Delgado hitting .419 with runners in scoring position. That leads the major leagues. That's why he has 98 ribbies. And there's a strike. Delgado on a little mini slide. Didn't do well in Boston in the 4-game set. 2 for 15.
He's on pace to drive in 160 runs this year.
He's another guy that uses his hands like Vernon Wells. If you saw the home runs he hit off Andy Pettit in the open, there's a look at the guys that reach 100 RBIs in less than 100 games. Ken Griffey Jr., unfortunately, his season is over again.
There's some pretty good hitters on that list.
But Carlos really has some good hand action.
Hit sharply to Jeter. Beautiful play. Steps on second, one on the first, double play. Weaver likes it. Jeter took away an RBI single. He was positioned perfectly and then had quick hands to stay with the ball that stayed down. Hustled to second, fired to first, a 6-6-3 inning-ending double play. No runs a hit, 1 man left. Blue Jays don't score, Yankees coming to bat.
With over 20 years on the field and 20 years in the booth, the YES Network's Jim Kaat brings experience to Yankees game coverage that few can match. The Daily News says Kaat puts a high priority on his baseball storybook. Jim Kaat, experience Yankees fans expect, only on YES.
Well, Jeff Weaver wiggles out of a little bit of a jam in the top of the first inning. Now it's the Yankees' turn, and the New York Yankees starting lineup is presented by Dodge. The second baseman, Alfonso Soriano, will lead off. Batting second and playing shortstop, Derek Jeter. The first baseman is Jason Giambi. He'll hit third. Batting cleanup, the center fielder, Bernie Williams. Hideki Matsui, the left fielder, will hit number 5 in the lineup. He has a 7-game hitting streak, during which time he's 9 for 29, a home run, and 3 runs batted in. Jorge Posada will catch. He'll hit 6th. Hitting 7th and playing right field, Raul Mondesi. Ruben Sierra, the DH, will hit 8th. And batting 9th and playing third base against the left-hander Hendrickson is Todd Zeile.
Mark Hendrickson making his 19th start. His first one of the year was pretty rocky against the Yankees. He's 5-6, gives up a lot of hits. Even at his height, he's not a particularly hard thrower, coming off a couple of minor league starts and back up in the big leagues today.
Yeah, back from the minors, as Kitty said. They sent him down to Dunedin and A-ball. 17 runs allowed in his last 20 innings in the major leagues, and that date against the Yankees was April 2nd. He gave up 10 hits and 7 runs in an inning and 2/3 at Sky Dome.
And he will deal to Soriano. Inside, Soriano against the Indians 4 for 17, but they call that a strike. And all 4 hits were extra base hits, 2 home runs and 2 doubles. He had 7 runs batted in and 3 runs scored. And he is 6 for his last 33, though. So stumbling just a bit. Fouls that one off.
Now, you really can't relay that information that quickly. If you're in the on-deck, so I mean it's too quick, Kitty. But if a guy's in the on-deck circle and sees this target, yeah, he start wagging his glove down. You know, a breaking ball's coming.
I've always wondered this, Kenny. When you're in the box like that, can't you sense the movement by the catcher that the glove is low, even if you're not peeking?
No? You can sense it moving side to side a bit.
Hit sharply to third. Hinsky had him played perfectly right on the line. Low throw, nice scoop by Bobby Kielty. One away.
Now, Bobby Kielty, we've seen him play first base from time to time for Minnesota. Traded for Shannon Stewart right before the All-Star break. But this is his first game at first base for the Blue Jays. And a tester right at the start.
Yeah. He got rid of the butterflies in a hurry. He got them.
Well, Derek Jeter showing his defensive ability. We talked about his legs and his bat of late, but here he is with the leather. 2 nice plays in the first inning to keep the Blue Jays off the board.
Now here's Derek at the plate. He has been the hottest hitter in baseball in July, and he remains hot with a single to left field. Derek is 24 for 48. That doesn't take much math to know that's 500.
That's good, Michael.
Thank you.
You know a hitter's hot when you step up there, you get the first pitch, and you just wail on it. You know, like you came to the park today, think, well, I might throw a fastball first pitch, and I'm going to be ready. Sometimes a pitcher throws that first fastball, and just you're not really geared into the speed, and you foul it off. Derek Jeter is not into that lately. He's getting that first fastball, and he's on everything.
Twice smiling. Here's Jason Giambi. He's had 5 home runs against Toronto this year. And there's a strike from Hendrickson.
Yeah, we showed the graphic earlier. The Yankees have hit 22 home runs against the Blue Jays. 2 players on the Yankees have 10 of them.
See the exaggerated shift that the Blue Jays employ, like most teams do.
And Giambi has 5, and Soriano has 5.
Couldn't hold up there.
Now, Kenny, I got to ask you. I know you were in some hot streaks in your life, and I've heard hitters describe it in different ways. The ball either looks as big as a volleyball, or I've heard a lot of hitters say everything looks like it's in slow motion.
That's very true. I think when you're really going well, you know, the ball gets up there in less than 1/10 of a second, but it's almost, I can still see pitches from years ago, you know, ones that I hit well.
I can too, ones that I threw over the wall.
But it's almost, you're right, that everything is slowed down, and it's like everything's underwater. And when you go to hit, of course, it's real speed, and the bat is always right. When you're hot, you just nail it.
Pitch to Giambi is low. Mark Hendrickson has never allowed a home run to a left-handed batter in the major leagues. That's over 129 at bats.
He will eventually if he sticks around, and he's facing a guy right now who's been very hot in the second half against left-hand pitching.
Righties do very well against him. Let's see if Jeter's going to go here. Does not. The pitch is fouled back. This is probably the most extreme shift that I've seen by a second baseman.
Yeah, that we talked about Mark not giving up a home run. He missed it by about a quarter of an inch of giving up his first one on that pitch. Yeah, they really are leaving that left side open.
You know, with 2 strikes, this is when Giambi's more apt to hit the ball the other way. Cut down on his swing a little bit. They're going to throw it. Look like a fastball inside. That's kind of tough to hit the other way.
Well, most of Jason's hits have obviously gone to right, 21 to center, 21 to left. Actually more to left than I thought, although most of those are in the air. He doesn't hit any ground balls to the left side. Very rarely. That's why they're able to shift him like this. Runner goes. Pitch is up. Throw to second is not in time. Jeter thought about going to third, but then maybe had flashbacks of that dislocated left shoulder, and the catcher, Tom Wilson, was over at third base.
You know, if he didn't hesitate, he makes it. If he does a pop-up slide, but of course he doesn't know that nobody's on third base, he could have actually stolen third easily on this just as well.
This is what Michael's talking about. Derek got a fantastic jump going to second. And there's the third baseman, Hinske, with the ball. In fact, Derek did think about it. You know, he could have beat Hinske, but then he saw Tom Wilson headed for third base.
And Giambi walks.
Yeah, that would have been scary, because see, right now Wilson is still there. So if he knows, but there's no way to know. I mean, even Willie Randolph could holler at him, he wouldn't hear him. But you could imagine the flashbacks. That's exactly the confrontation he had with Ken Huckabee at third base in Skydome.
You know, the Blue Jays, it's almost as if they don't realize they're out of position. You know, the Hendrickson should be the one that goes over to third base, the pitcher. You know, the catcher has a lot further distance to cover. You got to talk about that beforehand.
Yeah, and he's an ex-basketball player. He ought to know you got to pick up the loose man.
Zone defense. They allow those now in pro ball.
And the pitch. Blown outside to Bernie Williams. Bernie is 1 for his last 14 and 6 for his last 34 since coming off the DL. .304 in these situations, runners in scoring position, but since April 25th, just 161. That's when the knee, I believe, really started to hurt him toward the end of April. Played through it for a while, but really was lost at the plate. He got to such a good start the first month. There's a ground ball at third, backhanded nicely by Hinske, but it's foul.
See, and I would think that the reverse is true, Kenny, of Bernie right now, because he's been on the DL. Everything probably looks like it's in double time. To Derek, it's slow motion.
Slowly but surely, you begin to catch up, though. Gain that hand-eye coordination.
Not yet. Changeup popped up to left. Catalanato is there. 2 away.
And when you don't have your stroke working, you're very susceptible to changeups, because you don't want to get passed by a fastball. That pitcher throws you a changeup and you're way out in front. But when you're hitting well, the changeup looks as big as a balloon coming up there, and you wait and then you smoke it.
Matsui, number 55.
Here's Hideki Matsui, 5 for his last 15. He has a 7-game hitting streak working. pitch. Like he pulled the string on that as well. Pop up to center field. Now toward left center. Catalanato is there. He makes the play for the final out of the inning. So Hendrickson works out of trouble. No runs a hit and 2 men left. We played 1 at the stadium. Yankees nothing and the Blue Jays nothing here on YES. Well, we go to the second inning. Yankees and the Blue Jays are scoreless. Bobby Kielty certainly busted into the Blue Jay defense in a beautiful way in Boston. What a catch.
Yeah, tonight he's at first base. Yesterday he was in right field for the Blue Jays at Fenway Park, and he robbed Trop Nixon of a home run.
The impressive thing in that, and not the catch, how would he keep himself from falling into the bullpen?
Pitch to Kielty's a strike. I'll tell you what, I like this deal. They had no plans to re-sign Shannon Stewart. I don't even know why the Twins made the deal. What's the difference between Shannon Stewart and Bobby Kielty? Kielty's younger, a lot more inexpensive, but they decided to take that route. And for J.P. Ricciardi, rather than get a draft pick, he gets a guy he knows nothing about. And there's J.P., the general manager of the Toronto Blue Jays. Line drive to right field coming on Mondesi. He makes the play for the first out of the inning.
Jeff got that Adam ball working. Delgado hit it sharply right at Jeter. Nothing wrong with that. You throw strikes, you get a few of those.
Yeah, from a Blue Jays standpoint, I think unloading Shannon Stewart, is a good move, as you say, Michael. But from a Twin standpoint, they wanted to drop Jock Jones out of leadoff spot down into an RBI spot, and they got a good leadoff hitter in Shannon Stewart, and they wanted to upgrade their offense as they make a second half push in the Central.
Plus they have, if there's one position the Twins are overloaded with, it's outfielders. They have Michael Kadire, and they have another, sounds like Minkevich.
Restovich.
Yeah, Restovich in the minor leagues.
Sounds like.
Yeah, I was close enough. I was talking to Brian Butterfield before the game, the Blue Jays third base coach. We were discussing that deal, and he and I both agreed, Shannon Stewart could have been a superstar. Just like I think Gary Reedus, who played years ago, and Shannon Stewart had that world-class speed that if they attacked the game like Ricky Henderson, they could have been another Ricky Henderson. But like Brian said, he just wasn't, and it came time for them to make a deal, and they got a hard-nosed player to kill him.
Switch hitter too. Play every day.
Yep.
And what a GM has to decide now when you have a player that you're not going to sign, am I going to offer him arbitration? Because if I do, then I'll get the 2 draft picks if he signs somewhere else. Or might he accept arbitration, and then you got to release him in spring training, and that gets ugly. And he made $6 million, Shannon Stewart. If he went to arbitration, he'd probably get 8. Slow roller, right side. Soriano waits on it and fires the first 2 away.
Well, that's the game's general managers like Brian Cashman have to play. I mean, it's not just can this guy hit, run, and throw. They have to look at contracts and years and options and things like that before they actually look at a player's ability.
Yeah, but one thing from the Twins standpoint, Blue Jays are actually paying the rest of Shannon Stewart's salary for this year.
They got a free ride.
Yeah, well, and the Twins are actually paying Bobby Kielty's, but it's certainly a lot less.
And the Twins are probably not going to re-sign Shannon Stewart either, not at that price. Be interesting to see what the free agent market is going to be like this offseason, where a lot of teams just refuse to take on salary. Tom Wilson, the catcher, digs in the 0-1.
Don't see too many hitters sit back on their haunches like Tom Wilson does and hit. See the average at 290. Actually spent a couple years in the Yankee organization at Columbus. And I would guess Kenny does that to keep from leaning and going to it, kind of helps him stay back a bit.
Instead of jumping out and lunging, and he's done pretty well with a 290 batting average. His on-base percentage is okay. He had a home run here earlier this year against the Yankees. There's the foul tip off the right foot.
1-2 to Wilson. Strike 3 outside corner. Great pitch by Jeff Weaver. and a 1-2-3 inning here in the second. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. 61st strikeout of the season for Wilson. We'll go to the bottom of the second. No score. Well, Saturday night at 8 on YES, tune in for the premiere of an all-new Yankees classic featuring Roger Clemens' 299th victory. The Rockets' road to 300 travels through Boston in a classic pitching duel that sees Clemens lead the Yanks to a milestone victory over the rival Red Sox. It's Yankees Classics, Roger Clemens' 299th win, Saturday at 8, only on YES.
There's the Rocket, seated between Robin Ventura and Mike Messina. Michael, I got to tell you, I really enjoyed your center stage with Tom Brokaw. I thought that was very special.
Thank you. Thank you. He was a great guest, and he really loved sports.
Oh, man, it came through his passion, particularly for baseball and Jackie Robinson.
Got all choked up talking about Jackie Robinson. Thank you. Posada steps in to lead off here in the bottom of the second inning. And the pitch. Fouled away. When the Yankees were in Toronto, the big talk was about eventually switching to a four-man rotation. And Roy Halladay happens to be all for it, which is shocking. And he actually pitched very well with only 3 days rest. The next day, Kelvin Escobar could not get out of the second inning, pitching on 3 days rest. And you do have to wonder about the viability. And there's a hot shot up the middle that's going to be through for a base hit for Posada. You do have to wonder about the viability of going to a four-man staff in a day and age where it just doesn't happen. They don't come up through the minor leagues like that. So how are they going to get four guys that would feel comfortable doing it?
Yeah, you really have to start in the minor leagues, and I admire Roy Halladay. It's too bad. If every pitcher in today's era would have been trained and could experience pitching on the four-man rotation, they would find out how much better it really is. And ball clubs wouldn't be looking for a number 5 starter. They'd have a spare guy in the bullpen. There's the match tomorrow. Roy Halladay, best pitcher maybe in all of baseball right now against Andy Pettitte.
You know, the Corey Lytle, who has experienced arm problems in the past, was a pitcher in their rotation that balked at the idea of going to a four-man rotation.
That one is hit deep to left center field by Mondesi. Wells is there. He has room in Death Valley. He makes a play on the warning track, and Posada will hustle back to first. So Mondesi just got under it for the first out of the inning.
And Kenny, your comment about Lytle, if there's any pitcher that could benefit. Here's the swing by Mondesi right down the middle, and he just hit it to the wrong part of Yankee Stadium to get a home run. Hit well long out. Now, Corey Lytle, that kind of pitcher, they're the kind of guys that really benefit from four-man. It keeps you sharp.
He's going to be a free agent at the end of the year, too. So,
you know, this whole thing about worrying about hurting your arm, that's a myth. Your arm, there are fewer arm injuries on the four-man than there are in the five.
Well, with the All-Star break, Roy Halladay has actually pitched 4 of the last 12 games the Blue Jays have played because they've been able to space things out with the break.
What's interesting, though, as Ruben Serra steps to the plate, is even if you take the initiative as an organization and right through from A-ball, you start pitching everybody on a four-man rotation, I still don't think you could do it because you're always going to have that one pitcher that you acquired in a trade or signed that they're not going to be able to do. All of baseball has to do it in order to switch. And you would think that with the dearth of pitching right now, everybody would think, gee, isn't it easier to get 4 good starters than 5?
Andy McPhail told me he was going to try it with the Cubs when Fergie Jenkins was there. They never did. There's Gil Patterson, ex-Yankee. He's the Blue Jay pitching coach.
And the whole idea behind the Blue Jays even considering it, there's a hot shot up the middle, could be 2. There's 1, and there's 2. Is they simply wanted to maximize the starts that Halladay and Escobar got. It doesn't look like it's going to work out. So that'll do it for the Yankees in the second. No runs a hit, no errors, and because of the double play, nobody left on base. We played 3, or we played 2, and going to the third, no score.
I hope you're ready for this.
Death has a scary way of coming back. Final Destination 2 on Infinifilm DVD.
What did you see?
Discover Death's pattern when you go beyond the movie into the scariest Infinifilm ever.
It's not over yet.
Plus, an all-access pass that gets you inside incredible documentaries, including the terror gauge, deleted scenes, and much more. Buy the Infinifilm DVD July 22nd. Watch the movie, then experience the Infinifilm. Also available on Infinifilm DVD.
October 18th, 1977. Reginald Martinez Jackson strokes his third home run of the sixth game of the World Series against the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Come out to Yankee Stadium this Thursday afternoon as all fans 14 and under in attendance will receive a 100th anniversary T-shirt courtesy of Majestic Athletic. For tickets, visit the stadium ticket window, Yankees clubhouse shops. You can call Ticketmaster at 212-307-1212 or log on to Yankees.com. Good looking tee. Pretty nice. Good for the beach, the pool.
The booth?
Absolutely. Orlando Hudson lines the first pitch into center field. That's a base hit. So he leads up the third with a single.
That's a plus for the Blue Jays. They know he can field. They're just waiting to see if he can hit on the big league level.
Switch hitter hits much better on the left-hand side of the plate than he does right-handed so far in his career. There's that fastball. We talked about the movement. That one kind of sunk right towards the middle of the plate. And Hudson able to hit it right back through the middle for his single.
A lot of switch hitters in baseball seem like they really have a weak side. As a switch hitter, were there ever times where you said, I'm giving up left, or this just is too hard?
No, never.
Well, you were pretty even from both sides.
I think I was statistics would say I was a better hitter left-handed. But for the most productive years of my career, there was about 5 or 6 years in a row. Didn't matter who was after.
Well, you see more right-hand pitching.
Yeah, but I felt comfortable. Let's put it that way.
But there have been people that have gone away from it.
Yeah. When did you start, Sir?
When I was about 4 or 5 years old.
Right. There you go.
Mickey Mantle was on TV.
Yeah.
Let's try and hit like the Mick.
Why not?
Now, Bernie Williams actually was switched to a switch hitter in the minor leagues after 1 year. Buck Showalter switched him, and he struggled, but he stayed with it, and it's been a benefit for him. But a lot of people are really a lot worse from one side, and some give it up.
Eddie Murray, actually, the year before he got called up to the major leagues, or maybe 2 years before the minor leagues, they told him to try switch hitting.
You know, Michael, the reason they're weak from one side, Maury Wills comes to mind. They made him a switch. I think Bobby Bragan may have made, or Harry Walker made Maury Wills a switch hitter, because all of a sudden they find out right-handed they can't hit the breaking ball and they want to stay in the big league, so they go to the left side. It took Bernie a while. He was not a very good left-hand hitter early in his career, and he's gotten better and better each year. But that's usually the reason they're weaker on both sides. But if they start early like Kenny did, then they have a chance to be equal.
There's a strike. Left-handed Bernie 252, right-handed 303 this year. Of late, though, it's about even the last couple of years. It used to be way, way, way in favor of the right side. He had a lot more power right-handed as well. Lofts it to the aforementioned Bernie Williams. And he puts it away for the first out of the inning. If you're going to be a better switch hitter, you definitely want to be a better switch hitter from the left side. Because the right side, about 25% of the pitchers are left-handed. That's not how you're going to make your living, being a good right-handed hitter.
That's true, but the best year I hit for the highest average, I almost hit 400 batting right-handed. And because when you jump over there, you don't want it to drag down what you've done on the left side. You do pretty well left-handed just about all the time.
You know that year he hit 400 right-handed? I think that was 1975, because that's when I was in the league.
No, well, it was 77.
Oh, okay. I was gone by then.
Thanks for your help, though.
Because I know he hit 400 off me.
A lot of water under the bridge since then.
Last 3 years, Bernie hit 315 from the right side, 317 from the left.
That's amazing, isn't it?
And with some teams, it's hard for a switch hitter to get the batting practice from the right side because they don't carry a lefty batting practice pitcher. The Yankees do. Charlie Wonsowitz. 1-1. Bunted. A nice bunt. Off the mound is Weaver. He has a tough play. And the throw pulls Giambi off the bag, so everybody's safe. That's a base hit, though.
Well, Kenny, we talked about the lack of sacrifice bunts for the Blue Jays, but that was not a sacrifice. It's going to turn into a base hit. Reed Johnson showing his bunting skills. Got one down, runs fairly well. Weaver came very close to throwing this one down the right field line as Jason Giambi goes up the ladder to snare it. But you can see that Todd Zeil's back beyond third base. And Johnson might have caught that out of the back corner of his eye. And then beats the throw to first for the hit.
Well, that's great technique, too, for a team that does not use the bunt or the steal very often. That was perfect.
First and second, one out. Catalanato at the plate. He singled to center on a breaking ball on the first. Fouls that one away.
Hitters use the expression, and Chili Davis did this toward the end of his career. He said, I got to cheat on the fastball a little bit more, and it's legal. By that he meant he had to get started. And from this bat position, boy, Catalanato really hits that ball out front. He gets started in a hurry. His body.
Blue Jays can score runs. They are second in the league in runs scored.
See, that one got by him. The one before that, he hit out front. Weaver got that one almost completely past him.
Catalanato, a good hitter in these situations, hitting .373, runners in scoring position. And the 0-2. Strike three right down the middle. Catalanato down looking at a fastball. 2 away. Second strikeout for Weaver.
Best time to get a good big league hitter out with a fastball is with 2 strikes, and that had great movement, because usually I think Catalanato hit a breaking ball the first time. Usually with 2 strikes, you think, well, the pitcher's ahead of me, he's not going to give me a fastball, and that's when you can usually slip it by him like Weaver just did.
There's Vernon Wells. Pitch is low. We've broken down Ken's lifetime numbers. A 293 from the left side, 261 from the right side. Wells with 84 ribbies. He has not had one since July 12th against the Yankees. So he went RBI-less in Boston.
The other night, Carlos Tosca gave Wells a night off. He had played in every single game. It was the Friday game in Boston. And since Wells made the All-Star team, he really didn't get a break, so he felt that Wells has been very productive, among the league leaders in runs batted in, runs scored, and turning into a star player in the American League. And he's already tied his career high in home runs, which he set last year with 23.
The RBI leaders in the American League. Blue Jays up top. Delgado 98, Vernon Wells 84. Giambi is 4th with 79. Although you could say he's 3rd since Wells and Anderson are tied. The 3-0. Well, that's certainly not a good thing to do, to walk Wells and face Delgado.
Well, it shows you the respect they had for Wells. They threw him a 2-0 breaking ball and missed to run the count to 3-0. So you pick your poison, but if you're Jeff Weaver, you'd rather pick Vernon Wells than Carlos Delgado. I think that same thought's going through Joe Torre's, but you almost, in those situations, have to challenge Vernon Wells to avoid facing this guy.
And also, if you look at a scorebook, sometimes it can be deceiving. It says that Delgado grounded into a 6-6-3. Boy, he hit a bullet his first time up. So he was right on a Wells pitch, or a Weaver pitch, and hit it right up the middle, and Jeter was right there to start the double play. Nice block by Posada. Now Delgado loves to have the bases loaded. How much does he love it? He's 7 for 11 with the bases loaded this year. 1 grand slam.
Oh, he mentioned he's hitting over 400 runners in scoring position. That's how you have 98 runs batted in, and this is his 98th game, and tied with Jason Giambi for the league leading home runs.
He has 8 career grand slams, and the Blue Jays have the bases loaded. 2 outs in the top of the 3rd. There's a strike. That's why the number 3 position in this lineup, and you see his lifetime numbers with the bases loaded, Wells is in such good shape, because what pitcher is not going to challenge Wells and deal with Delgado? Weaver turns out that he didn't. But now you got Delgado with the bases loaded. It just doesn't make sense not to pitch to Wells. And that's not a lack of respect to Wells, but rather the other way around with Delgado. 2-1. So you're trying to make good pitches on Delgado, then you might walk him. All right, in this situation, what are you throwing?
Strike. Some pitchers would tell you that wouldn't be a bad thing to give up 1 instead of 4.
Yeah.
Check his swing. He could not, said third base umpire Ted Barrett. A high fastball, and the count is 2-2.
Bill got a little anxious knowing he's going to get the heater. Chased it.
Big crowd at the stadium getting into it, looking for a strikeout. Weaver taking out any way he can get it. No score, top of the third. Bases loaded with Blue Jays. Jeter shades up the middle for the lefty swinging Delgado. The 2-2. Sky to center field. He's going to get out of it. Bernie Williams is there. He'll put it away. And Weaver is pumped up as he comes off the mound, retiring the very dangerous Carlos Delgado. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 3 men are left. As you can see, Jeff Weaver liked the outcome. We go to the bottom of the third, no score. That's Carrie Weissman in the jean jacket on the left, and Ada Weissman, her mom, on the right, mother and daughter, and they are mother and sister of Stu Weissman, our wonderful runner on our crew. So the Weissman become TV stars tonight.
Good seats, too.
Yeah. Hey, Yankee fans, Yankees.com shop has the best selection of Yankees gear, including caps, pullovers, and lots more. Visit Yankees.com and shop online today at the official site of the New York Yankees. We go to the third inning, and Todd Zeile will lead off. No score. Hendrickson against Weaver. Weaver made a good pitch to Delgado and got him to fly to center with the bases loaded. There's a strike. Looked like he threw him a fastball, right?
Yes, he did. Got 2 big outs against left-hand hitters with a and that was in a perfect spot.
Good moving fastballs by Jeff. Ooh, look at it.
Why, I am amazed at the size of this crowd. This is a hot Monday evening. The Blue Jays are an okay team, but certainly not threatening the Yankees right here. And you have people in the wings of the upper deck. This is a crowd, I'd say, anywhere from 45 to 50. Both bleachers are packed. They had great crowds against the Indians.
And what's the attraction? Giving away anything tonight? Just baseball?
Good baseball and Pez dispensers.
Yeah, you can't underestimate those Pez dispensers.
You know, that's part of it. I mean, Debbie Timon and her crew do such a great job marketing, but these fans come out to see the Yankees, too. You know, the way this team has been playing the last few years, I'm like you, Michael. I'm amazed because I remember some of the great Yankee teams in the 60s, and we'd come in here with some pretty good Twins teams, and you'd have 8,000, 9,000 people. But a lot of the change in that is the marketing that baseball has done in recent years.
Well, they, over the years, have really made this a place to be in New York. People come to New York, they have to come to the stadium, and people that obviously live here, they want to be at Yankee Stadium for these games. It's become an in thing to do.
You think back to years ago where owners did not want to put home games on television.
Yeah.
Zeile hanging in there.
That was the same era when they didn't want you. If you threw a baseball in the stands, you came in. They said, "Hey, you keep doing that, we're going to take it out of your paycheck." Now they encourage players at the end of the inning to throw baseballs to the fans.
Well, you know, eventually they learned that by having a team on TV, you can market your own team.
Right.
2-2. Swing and a miss. He chases a fastball up and in, 1 away.
That seems to be the pitch du jour for the pitchers when you get a hit or 2 strikes, that high fastball. And Kenny, You could probably talk about that. That is a tough pitch to lay off with 2 strikes. Looks so good.
Yeah, you first of all, you see it because it's up in your eyes, and second of all, you know, a high, hard one. Nobody wants to let that go by. You really have to have some discipline to take that pitch.
Pitch to Soriano is low. Blue Jays really play him to pull at third base more than any other team. Hinsky close to the line. That one is a fly ball to left. Catalanato's there. 2 away.
It's like Mark Hendrickson's gotten a lot of big outs with his changeup, too.
Along with Jim Kaat and Ken Singleton, I'm Michael King. You're watching Yankees baseball on the YES Network on this Monday evening. We certainly thank you for that. We're in the bottom of the 3rd inning, no score. First game of a 2-game set. And so far the pitcher's rule, it's Mark Hendrickson against Jeff Weaver. Yankees coming off a 4-game sweep of the Indians, where they played well in all aspects of the game, particularly their hitting shoes. But so far Hendrickson has shut him down. Here's Derek Jeter, though. He has one of the Yankees' 2 hits, also has stolen a base. And the pitch. Inside. Jeter is 6 for his last 10. And during those 10 at-bats, 3 runs scored, 3 doubles, and 2 runs batted in.
Now that was a high changeup, and he got away with it. He didn't fool Derek Jeter. Had a good swing at it. That's what I mean when you're hot. That ball just looks like a beach ball coming up there.
See Derek's numbers in July, far and away the best in the American League. 73 points better than Luis Matos of the Orioles.
He'll be here Wednesday night. Yeah, even his foul balls are right on time. You see that? I mean, that was a perfect pitcher's pitch, up and in, and yet when you see the ball go straight back, it tells you the hitter was right on time.
After that changeup away, fastball in. Whew, almost corkscrewed himself into the ground.
And the 1-2. Just missed outside.
I always thought when a hitter was locked in, and I saw some pitchers do this to Rod Carew, but not very many. The big, slow curveball is about the best thing to try to destroy a hitter's timing, but you don't see that much anymore.
Deuce is wild, and the 2-2.
We were talking about the Blue Jays going to the 4-man rotation. You know, one of the reasons they want to do that because their starters have won only 4 of the last 25 games. That's
and Halliday's probably won.
He's won 3 of them. Yeah.
He fights that one into center field. A long run for Vernon Wells. He'll make the play for the final out of the inning as Hendrickson gets the Yankees in order here in the 3rd. Well, we played 3 at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. It's the New York Yankees nothing and the Toronto Blue Jays nothing. Watching Yankees baseball on the Yankee Entertainment and Sports Network.
Classic. The stage is set for a duel at sundown, and Clemens goes strike for strike to triumph.
Roger Clemens picks up his 299th victory.
Yankees Classics Roger Clemens 299th win. Saturday at 8, only on YES.
We go to the 4th inning, and nighttime is starting to take hold here in New York City. Bobby Kielty leads off against Jeff Weaver, who drops in a breaking ball for a strike, 0-1. Hitting .429 with the Blue Jays since coming over from the Twins. Rip foul. The Twins certainly had an impressive weekend against Oakland, sweeping the A's, and the Twins, for some reason or another, really have the A's number. Last year they did in the playoffs and taking 4 when they really needed to because they were starting to drop out of the Central race.
They also beat the big 3 in that series. The first time that Zito, Hudson, and Mulder have been beaten in succession since the Yankees did it.
Good thing, though, for the Oakland A's, they didn't really suffer much damage in the West because, incredibly enough, Kansas City Royals took care of the Mariners. Walk-off wins. Amazing story. That one is lofted down the left field line. Could be trouble. That one is trouble, and it goes into the corner. Matsui will dig it out of the corner, and Bobby Kielty has led out the 4th inning with a double.
20th game in a row he's reached base, and he has been a nice addition to this. We saw the great catch he made last night. Breaking ball, waits on it, takes it the other way.
Third baseman, Aaron Hensky.
Almost looks like the left-hand hitters are geared to wait for Weaver's breaking ball, because he threw the fastball by Catalinato and he got in on Delgado's hands. So, you know, hitters might be talking, hey, this guy gets 2 strikes, going to throw you that curve.
Luis Matos has the longest current American League streak with 26 games straight reaching base safely. Bobby Kielty is second at 20. Here's Hensky. Pitches outside.
You begin to wonder if Matos is on every graphic. Can't wait to see him come here on Wednesday night. Fine looking center fielder for Baltimore.
A lot of people are wondering why Eric Hensky, coming off a Rookie of the Year season, is doing as poorly as he has. Now, you have to understand he missed about 6 weeks with a broken hamate bone, but he was playing with that broken bone in his hand 6 weeks before they discovered it. They kept taking x-rays, and they finally found a small break in the hamate. Swing and a miss. And if you look at your hand, the palm of your hand right in the middle is kind of a hook bone, and that's the hamate bone. And you don't need it in your hand because they remove it and you're still fine, but if it's there and it breaks, you can't play.
Several hitters over the years have had that surgery.
Mike Pagliarulo is one of the first I remember getting it.
Canseco.
Ken Griffey Jr. Blue.
A lot of people say that some hitters now have such unbelievable muscle mass that when they try to check their swing, they can actually break a bone in their hand because the muscle is too big for the body. They build themselves up so much. You get a lot more broken hamate bones than you ever heard of. Maybe they used to just call them broken bones. 2-2. In fact, there was a somewhat caustic columnist in Toronto, and I'd give him name credit, but I don't remember the name. He said the problem with Eric Hensky is that coming off a Rookie of the Year season, he looks like he ate his Rookie of the Year award.
Ooh, that's pretty harsh.
Got a nice contract out of that Rookie of the Year award.
5 years, $15 million, same as Wells. And that one's lofted to left center field, giving chase. Bernie Williams on the run, still going, and he's not going to make the play. That's one hop up against the wall. Bobby Kielty rounds third. He will score. It's an RBI double for Eric Hensky, and the Blue Jays lead the Yankees 1-0.
Another curveball. Another 2-strike curveball. Let's check out how Weaver went at it. That's way outside. Nice curve there for a strike. High fastball 1-2. Waste one. That was the pitch he wanted to put him away with, and then just like Kielty, got a 2-strike curve opposite field, and Bernie and Matsui run out of room.
That ball looked like it just kept drifting and drifting and drifting away from Bernie Williams. I thought he might have a chance to catch it because it had plenty of airtime, but then for some reason the ball kept drifting towards left center.
Pitch to Wilson is a strike. Well, he just could not complete the journey within the left center field wall.
and the bat, the knob of the bat tonight is pointing toward right field. That's usually the way the ball carries. The flags, there have been some swirling winds down on the field, but that certainly looked like it carried well to left.
Nice pitch right under the hands, fastball inside corner, 0-2. The double by Hensky, the Blue Jays' 239th double, which is second in the American League. The Red Sox lead the league with 247. Gil Patterson on the phone to somebody. I don't know why he'd have somebody warming up right now. I think it's just a friend in the stands, maybe.
Talking about the chart, he's waving the chart, exchanging some information with whoever's out in the Blue Jay bullpen.
And you can understand why the Red Sox might be leading the league in doubles. First of all, they have a good hitting team. They play in a doubles-type ballpark at Fenway Park, and you can understand the same thing with the Blue Jays. They hit well, and they play on artificial surface in their home stadium, Sky Dome.
Nothing Blue Jays. And the 1-2. Strike 3 outside corner. Wilson down looking. Good pitch by Weaver.
Kenny, when we're talking about his best pitches tonight, they're fastballs.
Right. Perfectly framed by Posada and moved right back across the corner, knee high. Best pitch in the game.
Here's Orlando Hudson. And there's a strike. Fouled away. Let's take a look at the Aflac trivia question. Mark Hendrickson has played in both the NBA and Major League Baseball. The Yankees and Blue Jays have each had one other player to play in both leagues. Can you name them? Now, I know the Blue Jay one. I'm a little uncertain about the Yankees. I think I might know.
I know the Yankee one, but I won't give it away. I hit against him.
Okay.
Man, he was tough and a great guy. Talking about, tall pitchers, we were checking before the game to see if anybody else hit a home run. A pitcher that was taller than Mark Hendrickson. Now, Gene Conley was another two-sport player. Played for the Celtics and pitched for the Red Sox. And I think he hit a home run, but he was 6'8". Hendrickson's the tallest pitcher to ever hit a home run. Tallest player.
High fly ball, left center field. He really gave it a ride. Matsui backing up. He makes the play as Hinsky heads back towards second. So two-way.
Like Matsui was playing rather shallow in left field for Hudson, expecting him type of hit that might drop in the left field, and then he'd have to play at the plate, and chased him back a little. Matsui with somewhat of a smile on his face, retreating towards the gap in left center, turns and makes the play. And the thing about, watch how quickly he gets the ball back in towards the dugout, towards third base.
I think if he had to, he could play second base. He unloads that ball out of his glove so quickly.
Here's Chris Woodward. Pitches outside.
Woodward's hitting at 265 right now, but since May 1st, around the beginning of May, he's hitting close to 300.
Their shortstop of the future was somebody named Cesar Izturis, but they like Woodward so much that they were able to trade Izturis to the Dodgers. He can really pick it.
They have a shortstop at Double-A named Russ Adams, a former #1 draft pick. I think he was picked #1 last year. And already up to Double-A ball and doing a pretty good job there. So when you talk about shortstop of the future, then it might be Mr. Adams.
Swing and a miss, and the count 2-2. way outside. Nice backhand stop by Posada. And the count is full at 3-2. On deck, Reed Johnson.
Jorge listing very wide of home plate to make that play.
Didn't even have time to get his body in front of it. Grounder, left side, past the diving Zeal into left field. Here comes Hinsky. Here's the throw from Matsui. Hinsky slides in with the run, moving to second. On the throw is Woodward, an RBI single, and the Blue Jays lead 2-0.
Don't know if he'd had a shot, but Matsui bobbled it just for a second. Out of Todd Zeal's reach, you'll see right there in his glove, he has to double clutch, throw off line. Hinsky slides in with a run. But of course, the mistake there is going to 3-2 on the number 9 hitter when you've got, you know, the better hitters coming up top. They missed with a couple of curveballs, and I think Woodward pretty well knew he'd get a fastball at 3-2.
And the pitch to Johnson is a strike, and the Blue Jays are taking Weaver deep in the count quite a bit. It's the 4th inning with 2 outs. He's thrown 74 pitches, 28 this inning.
Had a nice talk with Mel down on the field before the game, and we were talking about the one, you know, pitchers can look at video and scouting reports, and they all have great mechanics, great stuff, but the art of pitching to the scoreboard. And we were talking about Catfish Hunter. They're playing Catfish's Yankeeography on the scoreboard, and you know, there's a case when the guy's hitting 9th, you have to say he's hitting 9th for a reason, and if I've got a big league fastball, I should be able to challenge him and get him out
early in the count.
Yeah.
The deeper you go into counts, the less doubt is in the hitter's mind as he's going to see something special. You know, he's seen your fastball. He's probably seen one of your breaking balls, and if you have a change up, you know, you get to around that 5th and 6th pitch. For a hitter, you want to stay up there as long as you can before it's time to do business.
Right to Soriano for the final out of the inning. But the Blue Jays take the lead. 2 runs, 3 hits, 1 man left. We go to the bottom of the 4th, 2-0 Toronto.
Oh, look, it's the guy who falls. Fall now.
Oh, I don't really do that anymore. It's not like I got that insurance.
What insurance?
Aflac. They pay you cash if you can't work when you get hurt. Not that I ever do. Aisle 5 under lingerie.
Price check.
Aflac. Ask about it at work.
Aflac.
Commemorate a century of baseball excellence with 100 Years, the official retrospective of the New York Yankees. From Murderers Row of 1927 to the modern dynasties, here is an inimitable portrait of America's team. Just $50 at Yankee Stadium or by calling 1-800-GO-YANKS. Also available at leading retailers nationwide.
Take a look at that Aflac trivia answer if you've been pondering it for a while. Hendrickson has played in both the NBA and baseball. The Yankees and Blue Jays have each had one other player to play in both leagues. Can you name them? You know, Danny Ainge from the Blue Jays. Who was your pick on the Yanks? Steve Hamilton.
Hammy, yep. What a terrific guy. The late Steve Hamilton was a coach at Morehead State, and I never forgave him for violating the pitchers' union. Hitting against him here with the bases loaded, I got the count to 3-2, and he threw me a sidearm slow curve, and obviously I swung at it and missed. I saw him the next day. Hammy, how can you throw a pitcher a 3-2 curveball with the bases loaded? He said, because I knew you'd swing at it. And I did.
Did he ever throw you the folly floater?
No, he never did. The folly floater Michael's talking about is that's a pitch you might want to throw to Derek Jeter right now, but you'd plant your foot and then flip it way up in the air, almost like you're tossing a frisbee overhand. And he threw it a lot to Tony Horton of the Red Sox. I think he also threw it to Frank Howard.
1-1. Boy, is Orlando Hudson playing deep at second. He's playing a softball position, short right field. Swing and miss. Hamilton was 40-31 with a 3.05 in 12 years in the bigs. Pretty good numbers. And 2 years with the Minneapolis Lakers, 4.5 points per game and 3.4 rebounds. And Danny Ainge played here and played with the Celtics. 2-2. Reading a story the other day, I don't remember who said it. You see Hendrickson's numbers in the NBA with the Phillies, the Kings, the Nets, and the Cavaliers. I said Phillies, obviously the 76ers. 3.3 points per game, 2.8 rebounds, field goal percentage of almost 42%. Didn't pass the ball much, and 80% from the free throw line. But somebody that played with Ainge in the minor league said he would have been a pretty decent baseball player. Wouldn't have been great, but he would have stuck around in the big leagues.
He picked the right sport.
Yeah, he picked the right sport. We played against Danny Ainge. Yeah. He did pick the right sport.
He's pretty slick with the glove, but I don't think he was going to hit big league pitching like he hit the net.
Hit 220 and 2 home runs in 3 seasons in the bigs, Danny did.
At least you can say he went deep.
Yep.
Those 2 pitchers he hit home runs off probably went to the NBA too.
Or went to college to get an NBA. And 2 at bats so far. Giambi has now seen 15 pitches from Hendrickson. 7 in the first and 8 here in the fourth. Right side of the infield. The shortstop, Woodward, makes the play right behind the mound for the first out of the inning. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the aforementioned New York Yankees.
Yeah, we just talked about Giambi's lengthy at bat, and when you're in the on-deck circle, you know, it's almost as if you're up there already. You got to watch the pitcher, what's working this particular inning. You know, as Bernie steps in, Matsui should be just about locked in on Hendrickson on the mound, because Matsui's on deck. You want to see if, you know, is he getting that slow hook over? You know, what's his fastball doing? Is he any different this time than the last time? They could burn him.
You know, that's why the umpires have made Soriano move. Remember when Alfonso would get so far behind home plate because he would take an imaginary at bat against the pitcher. That's, I think, in the days when Derek was leading off, and he was, or maybe when he was hitting 9th in the order.
Bernie didn't like that call. The ball got away from Wilson, but it was called a strike by C.B. Buckner.
Even though he dropped it, CB said it went across the back knee.
The 0-2. Hit sharply to short. Backhanded by Woodward. Sets. Fires. Got him. Nice play by Chris Woodward for the second out of the inning. We found the pitchers that Danny Ainge homered off of. We got him on the phone. Nice setup by Woodward as he sets and makes a throw. Joe Decker and John Montague.
He's not the only one. He's not the only one who got those guys.
Yeah. Joe Decker with the Cubs and the Twins. John Montague.
Yeah.
That's what we have here.
I'm trying.
He pitched for the Angels. Right-handed reliever.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Matsui lines one to right field, a base hit. 8-game hitting streak for Hideki Matsui. Johnson comes up throwing. 2-out single.
Remember Joe Decker? He said pitch for the Cubs. Here's one right there for Matsui to turn on. And Matsui has hit very well against left-handed pitching this year. He's over 300. Actually, his batting average against lefties is higher than it is against right-handers. And this one, he turns on, lines in the right field for a base hit. There we go. Done pretty well against righties, too.
And you know he's speaking some English because he's talking to Bobby Kilty over there at first base.
Unless Kilty's fluent in Japanese.
I think so.
Here's Posada. There's a strike.
Tomorrow night, is it? We can get our Hideki bobblehead down?
I believe it is tomorrow night, yes.
Add it to our collection. Only one I don't have yet is the Michael K. bobblehead down.
Keep waiting.
Yeah, I assume it'll be out soon.
Yeah.
Hideki.
Have a little microphone in his hand. Yes, microphone.
Slow ground ball is short. Woodward charges, fires low, and a nice backhanded scoop by Kilty, who is certainly doing a nice job at first base for the final out of the inning. In the 4th inning, no runs, a hit, the single by Matsui, no errors, and 1 man left on base. We played 4 in the Bronx. Blue Jays 2, and the Yankees nothing here on Yes. The New York Yankees, the world's most successful sports franchise, are celebrating their historic 100th anniversary in 2003. On Tuesday, July 22nd, the first 18,000 fans 14 and under will receive a Hideki Matsui bobblehead doll, courtesy of Hormel at Land O'Lakes. Come out to Yankee Stadium and join in the celebration of 100 years of greatness.
I'm Fred Hickman, the studio update brought to you by Nissan and your Nissan dealer. The Red Sox, of course, will be hosting the Yankees this weekend, but they are beaten up on the Tigers and Jeremy Bonderman tonight. This in the bottom of the 3rd as a pitch to Manny Ramirez turns into a rocket. It is now 12-0 in the top of the 5th inning. We'll have more later. Back to the Bronx.
Thank you, Fred. Well, the Red Sox come into the action today just 4 games behind the Yankees after winning the last 2 of the series against the Blue Jays. So trying to keep pace right now. Weaver deals to Catalanato. He checks his swing, said third base umpire Ted Barrett. Catalanato tonight is 1 for 2, singled to center in the 1st inning, struck out looking in the 3rd. Skied to center field and deep. Going back, Bernie Williams. Still back on the track at the wall. Makes the play for the 1st out of the inning. Good jump by Bernie, and he ran it down.
Well, the D seems to be fine as far as covering ground is concerned. Bernie Williams on the run. You see him check the wall, had a few more steps. Yeah, they've padded those walls in years gone by. You know, outfielders got more expensive, walls got padded, and your outfielders have less of a fear of the fence itself. As Bernie goes into it, breaks it down about right here, hauls it in, and there's 1 out.
Wells fouls one into the Yankee dugout.
I'll tell you one guy that wishes they'd have patted him a little sooner. I think we've talked about it before. Bobby Valentine. That literally ended his career when he stuck his foot through that chain-link fence. I think it was out in Anaheim.
Anaheim, I believe.
And the weirdest thing about that story, he told this story on Center Stage, he got an emergency start in center field the night before. He had never really played there. And Nolan Ryan pitched a no-hitter. So the manager, and I forget who it was very superstitious. Might have been Bobby Winkles.
Dick Williams was managing in the early 70s.
That one's hit deep to left center field by Vernon Wells. See ya. What a bomb by Wells. A solo home run, and the Blue Jays lead 3-0. Wow, did that get out in a hurry.
You know, they have swung. I mean, I give them credit for being good hitters and guessing right, but they have swung at some pitches today. Oh, there's the old curveball. Yep. Well, they didn't have to know this one was coming. That's just like the couple earlier. It just sits there on a tee. I mean, we mentioned the other night when Jason Davis was pitching for Cleveland, and Jeff Weaver's just like that. He could pitch with a fastball and a changeup.
Delgado fouls one off.
You have a new suit. Here's a hanger to put it on. Hanging curveball. And for Wells, that's a career high. His 24th home run of the season.
Chop that one up into singles.
Man, that got out of here quickly.
Anyway, finish up the Valentine story. The next day, the manager was superstitious. Said, well, they had a no-hitter yesterday. You got to play center field today.
Oh,
that's when he broke his leg.
What year was that?
Nolan's first no-hitter, so it was probably, I think it might have been Bobby Winkles.
73, yep, that's who it was. Dick Williams took over a little later. Bobby Winkles, Reggie Jackson, Sal Bando, all those great players that went to Arizona State. He was their coach there.
I asked Valentine, do you think you could have been great if you didn't get injured? He said, I don't want to say great. He said, I thought I could have been a pretty good player.
Yeah. Well, the advanced billing on him was, you know, he was a great all-around athlete. I think coming out of Stanford, wasn't he?
Stanford, Connecticut, yeah. Football player, running back.
Line drive to center field, a base hit for Delgado.
I mean, these guys are either good or they know what's coming. I mean, they are on just about every pitch.
You know, I've talked to Mel Stoudemire about that, and he said that Jeff Weaver, you know, they think at times he does tip his pitches. And, you know, I've heard things from some of the coaches around the league about how he slows down his motion on certain pitches, which would definitely, it's a definite giveaway that something else is coming. Now, when he doesn't slow down his motion, it tells you it's a fastball.
You know, even the out that Woodward made, I think it was Woodward hit the ball. No, he got a base hit. And the Johnson made, I believe, hit it sharp. They just swing at it like they know what's coming.
It's the Bobby Kilty's a strike. Our colleague Bobby Mercer, whenever he sees Weaver pitch and he's on the air, he said you could see he slows down and becomes very deliberate when it's a breaking ball. He said you could pick it up from up here.
Interesting.
Because he seems like he wants to make the right pitch and get a snap on it.
Well, if you know, Bobby can see it, and others, you know the hitters know about it, because with all the video around.
Well, he has been hurt today on the breaking ball.
And well, he's been hurt all year on the breaking ball. His best game was the last game against Toronto, where he used mostly fastballs.
Two-one. Swing and a miss. 2-2.
Of course, also bear in mind he's given up 3 runs. If he shuts him down a couple more innings, if you hold this club to 3 runs, as Jeff Weaver comments on being in New York, you hold this club to 3 runs for 6 or 7 innings, you've done a good job.
Hit sharply through the right side for a base hit. Delgado moves to second. Kilty picks up his second hit of the night. And the crowd's starting to get a little bit restless.
So is Mel and Joe, and it's another breaking ball.
Rich Monteleone grabs the phone, and with a runner on first and the first baseman holding the runner on.
Oh, that's duck soup.
And a left-handed hitter at the plate, and you throw him a breaking ball that doesn't hit that outside corner.
That's what he wants.
Just pull it right through that hole. That's like a free single.
And, you know, there might be people out there saying, well, why in the world don't they talk to him and have him quit throwing that breaking ball? Hitchcock up again. And you can't just throw all fastballs, but I haven't seen Jeff Weaver tonight throw a lot of changeups. Maybe we can't recognize it, but that's still his best blend of pitching. Now, he will get some hitters out with his curveball, but for every good one he throws 2 bad ones. And that's why, you know, I've had a lot of coaches and been on teams where, you know, they'll come out and say, hey, I got something to tell you about what to do with that curveball. You know.
Here's Eric Hinsky. There's the ratio for Weaver. 91 pitches, 59 strikes, 32 out of the zone. Count 2-0.
Hinsky drove in a run earlier with a double, and he's been swinging the bat a lot better. He's up here with 2 men on. 13 RBIs in his last 16 games. And these guys can hit.
There's a line drive single to center field. Delgado rounds third. He's coming home. Here's the throw by Bernie, way up line. An RBI single for Eric Hinsky, and the Blue Jays lead 4-0, and some Bronx cheers coming from the stands.
Well, Hinsky had him lined up, Kitty, for a 2-0 count. You know, you can think fastball, and he did a good job with it because it was out over the plate moving away. So if he tries and pull it, he might hit a ground ball to second. Instead, right through the middle. Yep. Picks up the base hit.
Well, the count in baseball is a whole thing, and we've been talking about getting hitters out with fastballs, but when it's 2-0, you know, they're pretty geared for it. Jeff Weaver's best pitches tonight have been when he's ahead 1-2 and he's thrown that good fastball.
Here's Tom Wilson, and there's a line drive base hit to right center field. Bobby Kielty will round third. He'll score. Hinsky stops at second. It's an RBI single for Tom Wilson, and the Blue Jays lead 5-0. Boy, this is a tough crowd. This Yankee team has just won 4 in a row. Weaver just came off a great game against the Blue Jays. I know he's struggling now, but boy, are they being harsh.
Well, they come here to see the Yankees win. They probably, a lot of these people weren't here yesterday. They want the Yankees to win today. You're right. That's what makes it special about playing here, and also can make it tough about playing here.
Well, that's the last they'll see of Weaver for tonight, as Joe Torre will signal for Sterling Hitchcock.
He's got to keep his emotions in check right now because he knows he's going to hear it. Turn the page.
So Jeff Weaver stoically walks to the dugout. Let's see what we get now with Sterling Hitchcock coming in. He didn't do too well yesterday either.
This season, my teammates and I are going to work as hard as we can with hopes that our fans will log on to Yankees.com and vote for one of us as the Continental Airlines Work Hard, Fly Right Player of the Year. We're dedicated to putting in those extra hours on the field, in the clubhouse, and everywhere else.
Programs here.
So log on to Yankees.com and be eligible to win a trip to a Yankees away game. Continental Airlines, Work Hard, Fly Right.
Come on home. Come on.
The Singular call to the bullpen is made by Joe Torre. Singular, the wireless company that fits you best. Well, Sterling Hitchcock will now come on, and Hitchcock inherits first and second, 1 man out, 3 runs already in. Blue Jays lead 5-0, and Jeff Weaver can only watch from the bench. Sterling Hitchcock got some boos yesterday, came in the 9th inning and walked the 2 batters he faced, forcing Joe Torre to use Mariano Rivera to close out the game. Pitches inside. Big rumors lately that Hitchcock might be going to the St. Louis Cardinals. Maybe Steve Klein, the left-handed reliever, coming back here. Klein has not had a good year for the Cardinals, but he is a workhorse.
Boy, he is. I mean, I don't know if his pitches have deteriorated, but he has been a tough lefty.
I think his control has not been at its best this season, speaking of Klein.
Well, Brian Cashman said we are not going to rush into any deal for Hitchcock. He's contributed into the bullpen. If we have to keep him, we will. We are not forced to make any trade. But it does seem a little odd that he's pitched 2 days in a row with a Cardinal scout here at the ballpark tonight. And he was here yesterday as well. And that's the former GM of the Colorado Rockies, Bob Gebhardt. So Joe said yesterday, I was not under any orders from the front office to showcase Hitchcock. I just thought that that was a good situation to bring him in. And this would probably be another situation that he would come in, middle of the game. The 2-1. Fisted out toward first base, foul. Sounded like he broke the bat.
Yeah, this is perfect for Sterling because one of the things he talked about is the lack of work. And he got an inning in yesterday. I'm interested to see the pitchers in Chicago. Terry Mulholland came in and threw an inning. And because Billy Traber had some elbow problems, they scratched him. We're going to scratch him. And Mulholland was the listed starter. And he pitched an inning in here to end the game. Yeah. And actually, I mean, that's good. You have a little inning like Sterling did yesterday, a little throwing the day before. His stuff should be sharper today. And his control should be better.
Two. Grounded to short. This could end the inning. There's one. And there's two. Hitchcock got exactly what he needed. A 6-4-3 double play to escape further damage. But there was some damage done. 3 runs on 5 hits and 2 left. It all began with that swing by Vernon Wells on a hanging breaking ball. The end of 4 1/2. We're halfway through. Blue Jays 5 and the Yankees nothing.
The man's got a right to protect his property and his life, and we ain't letting no rancher or his lawman take either.
Men are going to get killed here today. And I'm going to kill them. You the one killed our friend?
That's right. Open Range, directed by Kevin Costner. Rated R. Starts August 15th.
Exclusively from the home of champions, it's Yankeeography, the YES Network's Emmy-winning series that brings you true stories of true legends.
Mantle had gifts from God, literally.
Yankeeography, only on YES.
Well, the Blue Jays have given Mark Hendrickson a 5-0 lead. Now, the bullpen is not a great strength of the Blue Jays either, so that doesn't mean that this game is over by any stretch of the imagination, but the Yankees have not been able to do much against Hendrickson, picking up just 3 singles, 1 by Jeter, 1 by Posada, and 1 by Matsui, never able to get more than 1 hit in an inning. The biggest threat they had was in the first inning, first and second, and 1 man out, but Bernie Williams and Matsui both flew out to left to end that inning. Here's Raul Mondesi against Hendrickson. Inside.
Yeah, the Blue Jays are without their closer, Cliff Polite. And so it's kind of the old proverbial by committee. Whoever's pitching well at the end of the game will get to keep pitching until you give it up.
They're also without their young DH Josh Phelps, who's had some back spasms and could be ready maybe a week or so.
Broken back, ground ball, foul. Mondesi spent a lot of the pregame time before the game talking with Reggie Jackson in Joe Torre's office, and Mondesi says he depends a lot on Reggie Jackson, so let's see how that works out today.
Reggie talks to him a lot about the mental side of hitting. Now, when you talk about 5 runs, check this out. The Blue Jays here have scored, now they've scored 5 runs tonight, so that's 76 games and 66 games. Tie with the Red Sox, but check out the wins. See, the Yankees in that category have done it fewer times, but they are first in the rank. Look at the Toronto. They're down here ranked 11th when they score 5 or more. So unless their bullpen comes in and does a good job, they still, a lot of games like this, aren't able to hold the lead.
Yeah, they get away from them, as opposed to the Yankees. When they get those leads, they have a tendency to hold on to it.
And of course, that's the Blue Jay and Boston philosophy. They are offensive-minded organizations.
Line drive right at Keelty. 1 away. You know what's strange about that? I know they're offensive-minded organizations, But no one wins the pennant 9-8. People don't win the pennant winning games 7-6 and 9-8. You need pitching. You have all the offense you want. That's why the Red Sox haven't won since 1918.
But I think they're enamored with looking at stats. I mean, their philosophy early in the year was, well, if you have a 3-run lead, why do you need your closer? Well, they're finding out that there are very few guys mentally can pitch that 9th inning. I don't care how big a lead you got. There's not a lot of Mariano Rivera's out there.
Pitch to Ruben Sierra is outside. Again, we said this during the pregame show with Fred Hickman. You know, you could fall in love with on-base percentage and taking pitches and not bunting and not stealing and just getting guys that really know how to work the count. But unless you have Hudson, Mulder, and Zito, that doesn't work. So J.P. Ricciardi could be building the same schematic that they built in Oakland, but if he doesn't have those 3 good pitchers, they're not going to win games.
He's got one of them, Roy Halladay.
He has one.
Well, he's got one tonight that's doing a good job so far.
And it's funny because Billy Beane worked off the blueprint that the Yankees set by having all those batters take pitches and get an on-base percentage. But the Yankees have always had good pitching during this run. And a great bullpen. That's how you win pennants. The 2-1. Foul back.
Ruben Sierra up there 7 for his last 18. The switch hitter, the active switch hitter with the most home runs, 283. Just 4 behind Bobby Bonilla.
Ground ball up the middle. Woodward ranges to the glove side, fires to first. 2-way.
Well, tomorrow night on YES, we're right back here in the Bronx when the Yankees and the Blue Jays will meet at the stadium for the final time this season. Complete coverage will begin at 6:30 with Fred Hickman in the Yankees pregame, and then join Ken Singleton and me. We'll call the action beginning at 7. We'll give Michael the night off. Blue Jays and Yankees tomorrow starting at 6:30 only on YES.
Great matchup I'm missing tomorrow. Roy Halladay against Andy Pettit.
Got any special plans on your night off tomorrow?
It's coming to the ball game.
I might.
I think one of those 2 losses in one of Halladay's roughest outings was on opening night, wasn't it? Against and his last loss was to Messina.
Both of his losses to the Yankees.
Yeah.
April 15th. That's tax day. You got to pay up.
Right. But he hasn't lost since. In fact, if he wins tomorrow night, he'll tie current Yankee ex-Blue Jay Roger Clemens' record for the most wins in a row by a Blue Jay.
All right, I'm coming to work. We have 2 big center stages coming up. Tomorrow, Jim Fossil, coach of the Giants. And then on Wednesday, Sylvester Stallone.
Really?
Yeah, we're taping
Boy,
them.
you get him, don't you?
Yeah, yeah, it's all me.
You just call them up on the phone, they come right over.
Sly, can you come by?
What do you think, Sing? We'll probably have to come out of retirement. You know, I'll pitch a no-hitter and you hit a few home runs and we get on center stage. I mean, he's got Bobby V on there.
And Bobby M, Bobby Mercer.
Right. That's right. As Kevin, our producer, said, Kevin Smolden, those guys are center stage. We're backstage.
But you're both in my heart, so it doesn't matter if you're on the show.
That's all that counts. But I tell you, seriously, I really enjoy that show. That interview with Brokaw was terrific, with Tom Brokaw, and the one recently with Rocket was really good.
Rocket was fun.
I like the one with Bobby. Bobby was great. Yeah.
It's funny because he's usually shy. For him to come out and say things that he thinks. Zeal walks. So a 2-out walk to the number 9 hitter, which is never a good thing. And that brings up Soriano. Soriano's 0 for 2.
Sorry.
5-11-0 for the Blue Jays, 0-3-0 for the Yankees.
I'm going to say that Soriano's working on a mild 4-game hitting streak because he's had 1 hit in each game.
Boy, he rubs that front line of the batter's box out. There is no hitter in the baseball that is as close to the plate and up front as he is. Talk about some quick hands.
Now, he also uses a heavy bat, and
yeah,
he's going to get older. He's going to slow down a little bit. Do you think the concession to the age will be backing up in the box or going to a lighter bat?
I have no idea. Dick Allen never would go to a lighter bat. He swung a 42. He said, when I can't swing this, I'm heading out to pasture.
One. Did you drop bat size, Kenny?
No. No, I just...
Well, look at him now. He could still hit right now. He didn't lose anything.
I figured out when I couldn't hit. If I couldn't hit with the bat I used for 10 years, I wasn't going to play anymore. That was it. I think I used the same model for 10 or 12 years.
That one is ripped down the left field line. It is a base hit. Into the corner, played out there by Catalanato. Zeal motors into third. He'll stop right there. And Soriano gets himself a double, so the Yankees have runners on second and third with 2 outs.
Yeah, and he got that because of his position in the batter's box. It's a changeup, and you see how far out front he hit it? Because it was up. You know, a hitter that's in the back part of the batter's box, watch him hit it way out front. And that's the advantage of being where he is and having quick hands. Unless you got a lot of juice on it inside. That's why Pedro Martinez at Friday night, when you see him, he'll knock him off the plate. You won't see any of those off-speed pitches in a hittable zone from him.
Yeah, you've heard the expression, a thing of beauty. That's a swing of beauty right there.
Gil Patterson comes out and has a talk with Hendrickson. And C.B. Buckner breaks it up. Let's go.
You know, I think that's one way they have sped up the games. I don't believe that those little conferences on the mound last as long as they used to. I mean, pitching coach barely gets out there. The umpire's on his way. Let's move things along.
Well, years ago, you could only make 1 trip. I wish they'd go back to that.
Really, when did that end?
Maybe 70s. I'm not sure. Yeah.
Here's Derek Jeter, hottest hitter in the majors in the month of July. 1 for 2 tonight. Way inside. Boy, this is the perils of that 2-out walk to Zeal. He should be in the dugout. You see what Jeter has done with 2 outs and runners in scoring position, hitting .417, 5 hits in his last 7 at-bats. The 1-0. Fouled away. Yankees trying to chip their way back. They're down 5-0. But as we mentioned, the Blue Jay bullpen is not going to scare anybody. So if the Yankees get to Hendrickson and get him out of there, and they could start to work their way through the pen.
And the Blue Jays are playing Derek according to his old scouting report. Wells is in right center. Lately, anything inside from a lefty, Derek has been able to turn on. He's got a big gap out there in left center.
One. Foul back.
Well, Derek has particularly been good against lefties this year. Over .350 against left-handed pitching.
Jason Kirshner, who did such a good job against the Yankees in Toronto, warming in the bullpen. Soriano's double, only the Yankees' 4th hit of the night against Hendrickson. Blue Jays lead 5-0, bottom of the 5th. Now Tom Wilson's going to go out and have a talk. Patterson checking to see if Kirshner's close to ready.
Kitty, could this be that inning of decision you've talked about with pitchers who, you know, have kind of struggled? Hendrickson was taken out of the rotation, sent to the minors, and he had a couple of starts in the minor leagues. Now he's got a chance to pick up a win if he can hold on here. And it looked like he was going to get through the inning, but now a little dicey here.
Missed inside. Count level at 2-2. 2's a while again. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on, and number 2 at the plate. Pretty good pitch. Struck him out with a high fastball. Elevated, just 88 miles an hour, but after the soft stuff, 88 high. Seemed pretty quick, and he got it by Derek Jeter. A big out for Mark Hendrickson. No runs, a hit, and 2 men left. We played 5-0 Jays. You're not going to want to miss tomorrow night at Yankee Stadium as the first 18,000 fans, 14 and under in attendance, will receive a Hideki Matsui bobblehead doll, courtesy of Hormel and Land O'Lakes. Tickets are going fast, so visit the stadium ticket window, Yankees clubhouse shops. Call Ticketmaster at 212-307-1212 or log on to Yankees.com. 14 and under. I don't know if they're going to bring it into this booth. You know, you wanted one of those. I don't know.
I bet they will.
Yeah.
See, if I was here with my immaturity level, I'd get it for everybody.
Notice how we didn't disagree with that.
Oh, that's a layup. That's the truth. So Sterling Hitchcock, who got a big double play ball to get out of the 5th inning, starts his first full inning of work, or what he hopes and what the Yankees hope will be a full inning of work. And the count 1-1 to Chris Woodward. Outside.
You know, Michael, early in the game tonight, you were talking about that hamate bone that Eric Hinsky had removed. There's a lot of hitters. Now you see that shot of Hideki in the bobblehead. He's choking up on the bat.
That one is sky deep to left field. Matsui is there. 1 away.
Hey, you got it.
Well, you know, they knew the immature guy wasn't going to be here tomorrow.
So they brought him one.
See, there he is.
And look how he's choking up on the bat.
Yes, he is.
And Kenny, I don't know where you held the bat, but to me, that's one of the big reasons why there's a lot more of those hamate bones broken. Is more guys now, they hold that bottom finger off the end of the bat.
Do you think this little thing has a broken hamate bone?
No, you hold it like that, you won't. But if you get it down over the knob, then when you let that bat go, the knob bangs into that bone. That's where it comes from.
Kind of digs in there.
He's a little bit of a hefty Hideki. A bit of a gut.
Come on.
He's a little chubby Hideki. he's in great shape in left field.
Hideki.
I thought that was the other Hideki.
He's talking to you about, yeah.
Well, it's yours, Jim.
Oh, you're not going to be here.
You're not going to be here tomorrow. We're going to get more.
No, it's yours. There's the one you were talking about, Kenny.
Pitching in Japan once again.
Won the All-Star game there. Line drive to right field, a base hit for Reed Johnson. And boy, did Mondesi think about gunning him out at first base.
I think I've seen that once. I had my favorite catcher, Earl Batty, who was not fleet of foot in Boston, hit one to right field and got thrown out at first base. And Mondesi thought about it for Reed Johnson. Fortunately, he flew out of the box.
I've seen it a couple of times, and both times the right fielder was Larry Walker.
Ooh.
He threw out a pitcher one time and also threw out Tony Fernandez.
Really?
One time at first base.
That was the Expo version, right, of Larry Walker?
Yeah. Before they realized that they couldn't afford to pay him anymore, and he went to the Rockies.
Count 0-2 on Catalanato.
But But then again, he wasn't the only one in that boat. Those are days when I was broadcasting the Expos games. You would come to spring training knowing who wasn't going to be back with the team the next year.
Wow.
Nothing Blue Jays, top of the 6th inning. 1 out. The 0-2 to Catalanato. Popped up foul.
That's right. Michael said early in the telecast, I think, that J.P. Ricciardi feels his team is 1 year ahead of schedule. Can you imagine a Yankee team is saying they're 1 year ahead of schedule? There is no 1 year ahead of schedule here. It's win this year all the time.
Johnson's been on base 3 times tonight. A couple of singles, was hit by a pitch. His on base percentage is going to take a little jolt upward.
And the 0-2. Look out.
See, now, if you just walk up to him and give him a ball, he wouldn't appreciate it near as much as that. Getting high fives all around. Caught it off the carom.
The 0-2. Grounded to first. Giambi thought about second, then bobbled and takes the out at first as Reed Johnson moves into scoring position.
Yeah, we mentioned that's probably the only flaw in Jason's game it has been this year, his ability to throw. And of course, once he bobbled it, he did not want to take that chance. But instead of an inning-ending double play, you now have to face Vernon Wells again.
Vernon Wells is 1 for 2 with a walk, and the one was a long home run to left center field.
Vernon Wells drove in exactly 100 runs last year, and I believe he drove in like 42 of them against 2 teams, the Yankees and Baltimore. Drove in 22 against the Baltimore and 20 against the Yankees. This year he's spreading it out a little bit more. Youngest Blue Jay ever to drive in 100 runs when he did it last year.
Patterson going over the next inning with Hendrickson. It up the middle for Vernon Wells. Reed Johnson rounds third. He'll score easily. It's another RBI for Vernon Wells, this time on a single, and the Blue Jays lead 6-0.
Tell you, once you drive in 100 runs, Kitty, you feel like it's your birthright. You want to do it every single year. And, you know, this pitch is right there for Vernon Wells, as was the breaking ball that Jeff Weaver threw him. And, you know, he's an all-star now.
Yeah.
And you throw all-stars pitches like that, they're going to get hit hard.
He's a superstar.
Yeah,
I mean, this guy's got great hand action, and you can say, well, why didn't you walk the right-hand hitter to get to this guy, to Delgado? That's why Wells is in such a nice spot in the batting order. You know, the only guy that can make that decision, if you're Sterling Hitchcock and you've had enough history against both those hitters, you're the one that has to decide, you know, who would I rather go after? And that's a tough decision when you're looking at Wells and Delgado.
Here's where that little bobble by Jason Giambi might have, you know, you don't know whether they would have turned a double play, but at least they would have had a chance without the bobble.
There's a strike. Hitchcock against Delgado, 4 for 17. A home run and 5 strikeouts, but Those aren't really telling stats because that could have been before the surgery with Hitchcock. He could have been a different pitcher, probably was. Wells is now 7 for 12 against Hitchcock. Funny situation for Sterling Hitchcock. If he pitches great, he might be pitching himself off the Yankees. And if he pitches poorly, he's staying.
For how long?
You wonder.
I mean, you can't pitch poorly too long in the big leagues, especially here. Stick around.
Well, the risk of sounding harsh, he's done it for 2 years. He has never really been able to bounce back from that Tommy John surgery and get the fastball enough to make the changeup a viable pitch. The 2-1. There's a good breaking ball in the count 2-2. And they announced the crowd here, 51,958 on a Monday night.
That's 6 Monday nights for a lot of teams. I don't think they're running 6-0 with Carlos in the batter's box.
Missed outside, 3-2.
He'll go now. I mean, 3-2, 2 down. Start your runners.
On deck, Bobby Kielty. He's had 2 base hits tonight as well. Pick your poison with this lineup. High fly ball to center field. Bernie Williams is there. And that'll do it. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors, and 1 man left. We go to the bottom of the 6th, 6-0 Toronto. Hey, Yankee fans, for the latest news, player updates, Yankee merchandise, and all your ticket needs, visit Yankees.com, the official site of the New York Yankees. Well, we go to the bottom of the 6th inning, 6-0 Blue Jays over the Yankees, and Jason Giambi leads off against Mark Hendrickson.
It's almost hard to believe this is the same pitcher that won an inning and 2/3 against the Yankees at Skydome on April the 2nd and gave up 10 hits and 7 runs, all earned.
And you would think, just off that and how he's pitched this year, that getting a couple of runs against him would be a slam dunk.
That's why.
It's his ERA.
He needs a night off.
They're coming too quickly now.
The 2-0. High pop-up. Shallow left field coming on as Catalanato. 1 down.
Well, Michael, we've talked a lot about how the Yankees saw the Twins early in the year, and they swept right through them. And you see a team back-to-back in a 2-week period of time. Later in the year, they're a completely different team. And so the Mark Hendrickson that the Yankees saw on opening day, he's got more innings under his belt. He went down to the minor leagues for a couple of starts, and he's much. That's the beauty of seeing a team over a period of time over the season.
Here's Bernie Williams. He's 0 for 2, 6 for 36 since coming off the DL. There's a strike. You said you watched some of that Clipper game last night.
Clipper? Oh, Columbus Clipper.
Yeah.
Randy Choate's a blonde.
Is he really?
He's a blonde.
Well,
Yep.
they have more fun, so. Now.
I know Nick Johnson's having fun.
How did Nick Johnson look?
He had a home run, didn't he, Ken?
He smoked one.
Yeah,
really?
A long 3-run homer.
I think he went to Trenton today, which is a little closer to the city, so that if he gets ready, he'll be here soon. I don't know the exact date.
Well, I think what happened was Columbus went on the road, and they want when the Yankee players rehab, they want them to rehab in their parks at home. So Trenton's at home, so that's where he is. Remember when Jeter went down to Trenton. They were there for a spell, and the same with Bernie Williams.
Saw Drew Henson make, he actually made the last 3 assists to end the game. He had a really good night in the field. I only saw his last at bat, which was not a good one, but he looked real good in the field.
Nick Johnson looked ready.
Nick Johnson was a force for the Yankees over the first month and a half of the season. The 1-2. Grounded to short. Woodward. 2 away.
Mark Hendrickson on his way to his pitching his career best.
Career high in innings pitched is 8, which he did last year. Here he has 2 outs in the 6th inning. Here's Matsui, 1 for 2. Sharp single right in the 4th.
A lot of plays in the infield for the Blue Jays tonight. Heading up the fly ball out. Catalanato's been the busiest with
There's another play. Diving stop by Keelty. Flips to Hendrickson. And they got him. Tim McClellan took his time.
Yeah, or he'd have
hit
Hideki.
Let's see if Hideki was running into his right hand. Great play by Keelty. Oh, it was close.
Catch up on the day's sports talk with the best of Mike and the Mad Dog. It's a 1-hour version of the area's #1 rated sports talk show featuring the hottest topics, maddest moments, and most in-depth interviews. The best of Mike and the Mad Dog, tonight at 10:30, only on YES.
Well, Bobby Keelty, they really got him for the bat, but the last couple of days he's been flashing the leather.
going to get an opportunity to play all over the field for the Blue Jays. This is yesterday in Boston. Great catch in front of the bullpen. Rob Trot-Nixon of a home run. And here's the play on Hideki Matsui tonight at first base. So Keelty giving Carlos Delgado a spell tonight at first and playing well. And how about it? He's leading off the inning.
How often does that happen? That one is hit to left. Going back Matsui. 1 away. Time to take a look at the in-game box score, which is sponsored by Visa. It's everywhere you want to be. Reed Johnson 2 for 3, a run scored. Catalanato 1 for 4. Vernon Wells 2 for 3, a long home run, 2 runs batted in. Delgado's 1 for 4 with a run scored. Bobby Keelty now 2 for 4, 2 runs scored. Hinsky 2 for 3, 2 ribbies, a run scored. Tom Wilson 1 for 3 and a ribby. Hudson and Woodward also 1 for 3. Woodward picked up an RBI.
Kenny,
everybody's in the party.
Yeah, it's a rare night. Usually somebody gets shut out.
Everybody was on the same bus.
There's a strike. No, I'm sorry. That was outside.
I thought I was thinking with you. Maybe Posada was sitting outside.
Yankees are 8-6 this year against the Blue Jays. 5-1 at the Dome. And 3-5 here at Yankee Stadium, so go figure that. These are 2 pretty big games for the Blue Jays. They come into this series 11 games behind the Yankees. And really a split does them no good at all. I'm not saying that they'd be totally out of it. Even if they swept this 2-game set, they still wouldn't be in a great situation.
You know, that's where the wild card starts to come into play, because once you get to double figures behind a team, I mean, the clock is really starting to tick. I mean, it's tough to make up that amount of ground. There aren't many 1978s that you can recall, which the Yankees came back on the Red Sox that year. And when you think about it, the Yankees actually came back against everybody because there was more than one team between the Yankees and the Red Sox at that time.
That's the one thing that's misleading, and Hinsky walks about the wild card chase sometimes, because you could be maybe 6 or 7 games out of the wild card, and that doesn't seem like it's out of the realm of reality. But you might have to climb over 5 or 6 teams, and mathematically that might be difficult because you're playing some of those teams.
Check out the ERA there by the Blue Jays. That's what's happened in the last 19 games.
That's what has Carlos Tosca thinking about a 4-man rotation.
Yeah.
Getting Roy Halladay out there as many times as possible.
Well, somebody got him out. Of course, the Yankees got him out just before the All-Star break. Their average during that streak less than 240.
Here's Tom Wilson. Back. Now, this has been a tale of 2 seasons for the Blue Jays. They started off poorly, really 3 seasons, and then they went off on a run where they had the best record in baseball. On June 27th, they were 12 games over 500. I believe they were 2 games behind the Yankees in the American League East. But that stat that you just saw, 5-14 in their last 19. Their hitting went south, and so did their pitching.
They actually moved into second place for 2 games, or 2 days, and then dropped back down to 3rd. And the way the division stands right now is the way it has ended for the last 5 years. Blue Jays 3rd behind Boston and the Yankees, followed by Baltimore and Tampa Bay.
And the same 2 teams atop the division for 5 straight years has never before been done in baseball history. The 0-2. Line drive to left field coming on. Matsui makes the play. Hinsky heads back.
Well, left field's been a busy position tonight. Matsui's had a number of chances. Same for Frank Catalinato of the Jays. Well, this is a tough one, and Matsui got an excellent break. He read this one superbly. Line drive directly at any outfielder is the toughest play to judge, and he was moving in the right direction almost at the crack of the bat.
Here's Orlando Hudson.
You're mentioning the woes of the Blue Jays, and that's why over a course of a season it really tests the depth of your roster and the depth of your pitching staff. You know, in a short series you can get a pitcher hot and have a couple good relievers, but there's Corey Lytle, who the Yankees won't see in this series. But over the course of a season, that's why it's a real I mean, Kansas City, what they're doing this year is remarkable so far. I mean, it's still that none of those guys have been through it in September. It's going to be interesting to see how they handle it then. And they haven't played the Yankees yet.
1-1. 2-1.
I said last night, and I know it's a tough habit to break when you look at Sterling, because tonight his fastball seems pretty good, but when he gets a man on, you know, it's tough for him to stay ahead of the hitter because he looks at the guy on first base for so long before he releases the ball. It's one of the best tips. Eddie Lopat, the late Eddie Lopat, great Yankee early in my career. He tried to trick me by asking me, he said, when do you decide whether to go to first base? And I said, well, I don't know. I try to, if a guy's got too big a lead, I step off. And he said, well, never get caught thinking about first and throwing home, or thinking about home and throwing first. Look to first, and then when you're comfortable that he doesn't have a lead, then look to home, pick up your target, and go. But don't get caught in between. It kind of looks like Sterling gets caught in between a lot.
3-1. Count is full at 3-2. So with 2 outs, Eric Hinsky will go with a 3-2 pitch on its way. Danny Miceli, who hasn't pitched in a while, warming in the Yankee bullpen. Runner goes, the 3-2. Foul back, probably helped out Hitchcock. That looked like it was outside.
You mentioned Hudson has been a much better hitter on the left-hand side of the plate. I believe he's well under 200. .181 as a right-handed hitter. He's got an 0 for 1 right-handed. It was the first man that Hitchcock faced, got him to hit into a double play in the 5th inning.
Runner goes, the 3-2. Lofted down the right field line. Giving chase is Mondesi. He runs out of room. Along with Jim Kaat and Ken Singleton, I'm Michael Kay, and you're watching Yankees baseball on the YES Network on this Monday night. We certainly thank you for that. It's been all Blue Jays so far. 2 outs here in the top of the 7th inning. Blue Jays lead 6-0. Yankee starter Jeff Weaver was knocked out in the 5th inning with 1 out. Runner goes, the 3-2 is upstairs. He walked Hudson. So 2 walks in this inning for Hitchcock, and that brings up Woodward.
You just saw Hudson draw base on balls, and you talk about development in the minor leagues. Now, I believe Hudson was like a 40-something round draft pick, and Woodward at the plate was in the 50-plus rounds. So that to get through the organization, get these guys at big league ball players, sometimes you draft the people as afterthoughts down that low in the draft.
Got to give some credit to the organization, because some organizations, just to prove that their draft was good, will push those top-level ones out and forget the guys on the bottom, even if they show something. But obviously that's not the case with the Blue Jays. Line drive, and over the head of a leaping Jeter. Rounding third and heading home is Hinsky. Here's the throw from Matsui, and the ball gets past Posada. The other runners move up, so it's an RBI single for Chris Woodward, and the Blue Jays lead 7-0. Bad throw by Posada. It was up the third base line, or by Matsui, up the third base line and bounced over the head of Posada.
That's going to be a base hit. Woodward will get a run batted in, and the runners will advance 90 feet apiece on the wide throw by Hideki Matsui. And Posada trying to pick the throw and make the tag all at once. Might have been better off to let Hinsky score. He would have and catch the ball.
That is the 5th error by Matsui in left field. So Joe Torre has seen enough of Sterling Hitchcock. He takes the ball from his left-hander. He will call on Danny Miceli. And Miceli will come on to face Reed Johnson. So as Miceli jogs in, we'll step aside for just a moment. When we get back, Blue Jays have runners on 2nd and 3rd. 2 men out. Reed Johnson due up. Stay here. So Danny Miceli gets the call. This will be the first time he's been on the mound in a game for 10 days. Last time he pitched was July 11th against these Blue Jays at Skydome. So you throw in the All-Star break, and Danny has not pitched in 10 games. You see his numbers. That's between the Yankees and the Indians. Less than a hit an inning. Strikeout to walk ratio is not bad.
And boy, is the wind ever picking up here at the stadium.
Well, there is a late forecast for rain. So that is usually an indicator that something might be blowing in. You see the hot dog wrappers in the outfield blowing around on the black and also around Bernie Williams. The pitch to Johnson's up and away. Looks a little bit like Candlestick Park East out there.
Right.
See what Miceli did on July 11th. Count 2-0.
You ask any outfielder, they'll tell you that Candlestick Park was not one of their favorite places to play. Breezy wind. You can read a whole sports section. You know, they come by you during the course of an inning.
Down 2-1.
You can see your 0 for 4 pass right before your eyes from the day before.
And that's what happens when your team's losing, because the fans start to leave and those seats up there are empty and the old wrappers start blowing out on the field.
3-1 pitch is hit sharply foul.
Wow, Skippy. Wahoo! Pin a star on Skippy. That might be our Continental Airlines play of the game. Yeah, he's cool.
Reed Johnson with a rocket, but not too hot for Skippy. That left field hay. On the short hop, no less.
Fly ball shallow right, backing up. Soriano coming in as Mondesi the call on the catch for the final out of the inning. So 1 run, 1 hit, 1 error, and 2 men left at the end of 6.5. Get up and stretch. It's the Blue Jays 7, the Yankees nothing. While you're standing, though, remain there and honor America and listen to the voice of Yankee Stadium, Bob Shepard.
As we remember the service men and women who are stationed around the globe, and also remember those who have lost their lives defending our freedom and our way of life. Now, please join Kate Smith as she sings God Bless America.
Yankee fans, this is Michael Kay. Talk New York sports with me middays beginning at 10 on 1050 ESPN Radio. And on Wednesdays, listen at 12:05 for the YES Network Yankee Report. Only on the new sound for New York sports. 1050 ESPN Radio.
I'm Fred Hickman, the studio update brought to you by your Tri-State Quality Ford store. The Mariners and the Twins in Minneapolis, bottom 3, Twins up 3-0. Torrey Hunter takes Joel Pinheiro on a one-way trip to the power alley and left. Solo job, 17th of the year, to make it 4-0 in favor of the Twins. Right now, 4-0 in the 6th. Oakland and Kansas City are all tied up in the 7th, and Boston pounding Detroit in the 9th. We'll have more on the postgame show, but now back to the Bronx.
Thank you very much, Fred. As we look off into the distance here, some threatening skies just west of the stadium. Hopefully that'll hold off long enough. We can get the remainder of this contest in. The Yankees trailing 7-0 as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning.
And Jorge Posada will lead off. That's a mean-looking sky. Kind of an orange tinge to it. So Posada with one of the 4 hits against Hendrickson. He steps in. Jim and I were just talking to our meteorological sources, and we each have several.
Did they differ on their opinions, or?
A high Hot shot down the first base line. Posada will round first. He's going to go for second, and that is a bad move down 7. Lee Miceli was telling him to stop. He ran right through it, and a good throw by Reed Johnson. That's an awful play by Jorge Posada.
So far, this is one of those, whiteout or amnesia games. You don't even want to remember you played this. I mean, 7-0 down. No.
Reed Johnson had time to line it up.
That's when you do that, you want to go to the other team's dugout. You don't even want to go back to your own dugout.
Here's Mondesi. Swing and a miss. Well, both of our sources agreed. This is going to be a very, very, very long rain here in New York City, and when it comes, probably 10, 15 minutes from now.
This is 9:43 on the scoreboard clock.
Yep.
So 10 minutes, 9:53.
Give or take.
Okay.
Hendrickson has gone 7 2/3 once this inning and this year, and 7 innings once. So he gets a couple of more outs. This is by far his best outing.
2-1.
That's the veteran right-hander Scott Service being pressed into duty in the bullpen.
Fisted out into shallow center. 2-away.
Got a report in the background from Rick Cerrone as we look at the Visa in-game box score. I'll let you peruse that, Michael, before I give you the update on Jose Contreras.
Not too many hits, so not much to peruse. Soriano, Jeter, Matsui, and Posada have picked up the base hits for the Yankees. Posada actually has 2 base hits right now, and that is the Visa in-game box score. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
And I can't really say that it's a medical report of merit or worthy. It certainly doesn't sound like progress. 30 pitches off a half mound at 50%, no problems.
Right. Not exactly.
You could do that with a broken arm. So that's not a lot of progress so far.
And they had been hoping for a while maybe they'd get Contreras back by the beginning of August. Well, that can't be if that's what he did today. And the beginning of August is about 9 days away, 10 days away. Popped up right field, giving chase Hudson and Johnson. And Johnson with the call and the catch for the final out of the inning. No runs a hit, no errors, and nobody left. Hendrickson threw just 8 pitches and helped by Jorge Posada's base running gap. We go to the 8th, 7-0 Toronto.
Baseball on YES. Tomorrow, it's a clash of the big bats in the Bronx as the Bombers take on Toronto and their two-headed monster of Delgado and Wells. Join the YES Network team for complete coverage tomorrow starting at 6:30 only on YES.
We go to the 8th, and Danny Miceli deals against Frank Catalanato. And the pitch is low and inside. Defensive changes for the Yankees. Enrique Wilson takes over at third, and Todd Zeile moves from third to first, and Jason Giambi gets the remainder of the night off.
Rest up for Roy Halladay. Need all the rest you can get for him.
Popped up, shallow left. Jeter is waved off by Matsui. 1 away.
Well, tomorrow night, right here on YES, we're going to be back in the Bronx. The Yankees and the Blue Jays will meet at the stadium for the final time this season. Roy Halladay and Andy Pettitte, good pitching matchup. Complete coverage begins at 6:30 with Fred Hickman in the pregame. And then join Ken Singleton and me. We'll call all the action beginning at 7. Blue Jays and Yankees tomorrow night starting at 6:30 only on YES.
Vernon Wells fouls it back.
And then the Yankees will have a series against Toronto in September. So they've spread out their 19 games pretty well. Here it comes.
That one is hit deep to left field. Going back, Matsui still back. Looking up. See ya. A solo home run for Vernon Wells. His second bomb of the night. And the Blue Jays lead the Yankees 8-0.
I'll tell you, anything from the belt on up, man, he is on it. That was a high fastball. Quick stroke it. Kitty, you were talking about his ability to get the bat through the zone, and that is about as quick as they can. Not much movement until he starts to swing the bat. And then it's see you later on that one.
Depending how old you are, it's either hands as fast as Cassius Clay or Muhammad Ali. But that's the kind of hand speed he's got.
That's off the leg of Miceli, fielded by Jeter, and he fires to Zeal, so that's a 1-6-3. Second out of the inning.
He hit got just a piece of his shoe, I think, enough to slow it down. Even their outs are hard.
Here's Bobby Kelty. He is 2 for 4. Looks a little facially like Rusty Greer.
Yes. Plays like him. And he's a switch hitter.
A bigger, stronger Rusty Greer.
Rusty Greer has been injured for several years. Robbed himself of a pretty good career with the Texas Rangers. Right back to Miceli, and that will do it here in the 8th. But the Blue Jays add a run on another Vernon Wells home run. No errors and nobody left. We go to the bottom of the 8th. 8-0 Jays. The New York Yankees, the world's most successful sports franchise, are celebrating their historic 100th anniversary in 2003. On Tuesday, July 22nd, the first 18,000 fans 14 and under will receive a Hideki Matsui bobblehead doll, courtesy of Hormel at Land O'Lakes. Come out to Yankee Stadium and join in the celebration of 100 years of greatness. Well, the skyline of the city is being shrouded by darkness, and that's why, because the rain is starting to come down very heavy here at Yankee Stadium.
And we're going to have a delay already. Tim McClellan's not going to wait.
Danny Cunningham leads his great grounds crew out, and they will put the tarp on the field. So this is one time that you really don't want your sources to be right, and they were.
Yep. And even with the Yankees down 8-0 in the 8th, I think the required delay, the required time, the first delay is an hour and a half.
Okay. I guess when you don't have hair, it doesn't matter if you don't wear a hat, right?
It's only water.
Well, this is particularly painful for both teams because I'm not saying that no team has ever come back from 8-0, but when it's 8-0, you certainly don't want to sit here for an hour and a half to say, okay, the game is over, and that is exactly what might happen here.
Two guys that will benefit are Andy Pettit and Roy Halladay. Their managers will probably say, hey, you guys go home, get your rest. Vernon Wells just happy they at least got 8 innings in. His night counts. Well, I tell you, he is more and more impressive every time you see him.
Well, Vernon Wells reliving those home runs with Brian Butterfield, the third base coach for the Blue Jays. We'll step aside for a moment. We'll come right back here on the YES Network.
The YES Network.
Kids got it for 3.
New York's home for over 200 premier games from the 26-time world champion New York Yankees.
Soriano deep to left. Goal!
And the Eastern Conference champion New Jersey Nets.
Martin rocks the rim.
New York's premier sports franchises.
Swung on a drill to right field.
On New York's premier sports network.
Kittles pull up for 3. Go!
The YES Network.
This one is gone!
Your home of champions.
Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching the YES Network, the home of champions.
Welcome to Yankees Magazine, everybody. This week, we take a look at the Yankees lineup and how, as a group, it makes opposing pitchers work every single at-bat.
Every guy that goes out there, I think, is having a tough at-bat, and I think that's the thing that eventually kind of gets to the other team.
YES's own Michael Kay gets honored as a member of the Bronx Walk of Fame. The Yankees take on the Devil Rays and then head home for round 2 of the Subway Series. Joe Torre is honored by Samsung's 4 Seasons of Hope for his work with his own organization, the Joe Torre Safe at Home Foundation. And in this week's Spotlight, the man behind the catcher's mask, Jorge Posada.
For them to be good, I know what they got to do. So it's very easy to have a plan when I go to the game to talk about, you know, the strength of the hitters, and then we go after them.
All of that and more coming up next on Yankees Magazine. Hi, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Yankees Magazine. I'm Fred Hickman. Day in and day out, Joe Torre arrives at the ballpark and fills out a lineup card that possesses a little bit of everything. There's plenty of power and speed at the top, plate discipline, and above all, there is confidence. This week, we get a look at what makes the Yankees lineup so unique and how they make life difficult on opposing pitchers.
I don't think I've ever played on a team that, you know, the whole lineup went this deep, because every guy that goes out there, I think, is having a tough at-bat, and I think that's the thing that eventually kind of gets to the other team. I think, you know, you have that one inning where guys kind of put it all together, and the more consistently guys go out there and have tough at-bats, you know, the more situations you're going to get in to score runs and you know, obviously let the other team kind of beat themselves.
Line drive in the left center field, that's a base hit. And that's going to split the outfielders. Jeter scores. Here comes Matsui. They send him. He's going to score. A 2-run double for Ruben Sierra.
When I had to pitch against this team, it was always a frustrating and difficult day, whether I won or I lost, because they make you work. They make you throw strikes. The work counts to get a pitch they can hit. And now this club hits home runs, doubles. No lead is really safe. It's the kind of things that make it tough to approach the game. And when anybody from 1 through 9 in the lineup could hit 15 or 20 home runs, you know you've got a good group of players, and that's what we have.
Swung on and drilled deep to left field. Anderson back, looking up. See ya! Another leadoff home run for Alfonso Soriano, and the Yankees are up 1-0.
It takes some pressure out of the lineup too. You guys got Soriano getting on base, and you got Derek Jeter getting on base, and then the big guys come around and they drive the guys in. And I think the young guys can say, well, you know, now my job's a little easier. I got to move the runner over, or I got to bunt the ball, or whatever it takes to win games.
That's a comforting thing. I think you can go out there and have your regular at bat. You know, guys will take walks and things like that. I don't think you just swing just because, you know, you're supposed to be the guy that's supposed to drive somebody in. I think everybody has confidence that the guy behind them can pick that up.
I think we have a great combination of power, speed, experience, and just a whole bunch of good hitters. Not just power, not just speed, but guys that are very good situational hitters, guys that can work the count, guys that can get on base, guys that can do whatever it's necessary, you know, depending on the situation, to get the job done. You know, not all the time you need a home run to win. You know, if you can like advance the runner from second to third with less than 1 out, that's great. You know, if you can get the walk, if the guy's tough, you know, you want to make him throw a lot of pitches to get in that bullpen. And I think overall this lineup it does a great job of that. You know, they're patient, they work the counts. You know, they keep such a great pressure on the defense, then you just wear them down inning by inning, and you just keep chipping away, and you know, when the time comes, we just go to the attack mode, and we're able to score a lot of runs. So, you know, it's probably one of the best lineups that I've ever hit, you know, with.
Now the 1-1. Swung on line, base hit, center field. Here comes Wilson. He scores. Ball game over. Yankees win. The Yankees win.
Oh, and speaking of starting lineups, we now turn to YES's own Michael Kay. As a native of the Bronx and a graduate of Fordham University, Michael was given an honor recently for all of his achievements and was named a member of the Bronx Walk of Fame. Previous honorees include Secretary of State Colin Powell, talk show host Regis Philbin, and Oscar-winning actor Danny Aiello. Here were the ceremonies from the Grand Concourse. On June 22nd, Michael Kay, along with many other distinguished Bronx natives, received the borough's highest honor, a spot on the Bronx Walk of Fame. Ceremonies were held steps away from Yankee Stadium on the Grand Concourse as Michael's plaque was unveiled to the public.
We're very proud of your accomplishments as a Bronx kid. And here it is, ladies and gentlemen, Michael Kay.
I'm extremely flattered. It just blew me away when I found out. And growing up in the Bronx, you don't figure anything like this is going to happen. I thought maybe my picture would be on a post office wall, but never be in the Bronx Walk of Fame, so I'm elated. I really am.
And the 0-1. Driven out to right field and deep. Going back, Mondesi. Still back, and he makes the play as he hits into the wall for the final out of the inning.
Raised in the Bronx, Michael grew up wanting to become a broadcaster. After writing for numerous New York tabloids in the 1980s, he finally got his opportunity in 1990 to step behind the microphone for the Yankees. He's held that position ever since, living out a lifelong dream for a kid straight out of the Bronx.
Well, I'll tell you what, growing up in the Bronx, when early on, I kind of realized that I was not very good, that I wasn't going to be able to play. And my one thing that I wanted to do as a kid was become the Yankee announcer. And I'm sure there were thousands of kids that think that, and I'm the one that's lucky enough to get it. So when you say living a dream, you're right on the money. I am absolutely living my dream. This is what I wanted to do ever since I was about 10 years old. Never thought I'd be able to do it, but that's what I was aiming for. And, you know, when I got it, I consider myself pretty lucky.
All of us here at the YES Network congratulate Mike for being recognized as one of the Bronx's best. Coming up, the Yankees and the Mets play 2 in one day in 2 ballparks. When the excitement of the Yankee game is over, stay with YES for inside access to the Bombers on the Nissan postgame show. I'm your host, Fred Hickman. And along with the YES Network team, I'll bring you exclusive clubhouse interviews.
Moose gave us what we needed. We're doing our job, working the counts.
In-depth analysis.
You're going to have opportunities to do a lot of things offensively.
And highlights of every great play. So for the first word after the last pitch, it's the Nissan postgame show, only on YES.
If they're on the A-list in sports and entertainment, C. They're on the YES Network center stage.
Favorite actress?
Meg Ryan.
Why?
Q. From coaches to comics, broadcasters to ball players.
Beating the Mets was unbelievable.
Managers to mayors.
I grew up thinking I was the only Yankee fan in all of Brooklyn.
Middleweights to movie greats.
Is it okay to sit like this on a sports show?
Absolutely.
When A-list names have something to say, they're saying it to Michael Kay on center stage, only on YES.
Welcome back to Yankees Magazine. Time now to take a look back at an exciting week of baseball. First, the Yankees traveled to St. Petersburg, Florida, a 4-game set with the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. And then it was back to New York for a rather interesting 4-game series with the Mets. 3 games at Yankee Stadium and 1 across the way at Shea. The week began on the road in St. Petersburg, Florida. The D-Rays did most of their damage early in the second inning off the Rocket, scoring 3 runs. Victor Zambrano holding the Yankees at bay as Tampa Bay takes the game 4-2. In Game 2, the Yankees would build a 4-1 lead for Jeff Weaver, but the Devil Rays did not roll over. Up 6-4 in the 7th, and Al Reyes in the game on the mound with the bases loaded. Marlon Anderson took care of clearing the bags. The grand slam appeared to do the Yankees in as Tampa Bay took an 8-6 lead. The Devil Rays tacked on another run and led 9-6 in the 9th when youngster Juan Rivera would provide some long ball heroics of his own.
Collins hit deep to center field. Going back, Baldelli. Still back on the track at the wall. See ya! A 3-run, game-tying home run for Juan Rivera. And the Yankees have come back to tie it at 9.
Todd Zeile would add a clutch RBI double to give the Yankees the lead.
That one's driven into right center field. That could be trouble. It's going to be trouble. It splits the outfielders. Cut off in the gap by Huff. Here comes Jeter. Here's the throw. Here's the play at the plate. Jeter slides. He's in there. The Yankees take the lead 10-9.
Mariano Rivera would do the rest as the Yankees came from behind in dramatic fashion, taking the game 10-9. In Game 3, Andy Pettitte, who's gotten back on track in his last few starts, looked to keep the ball rolling. But the Devil Rays jumped out to a one-run lead until the Yankees lineup came to life in the fourth. Derek Jeter started the run-scoring blitz with a two-run single. Tampa Bay's pitching staff didn't help itself out any at all, issuing a dozen walks in the game, tying a club record. Meanwhile, Andy Pettitte struck out 6 and walked only 1 to improve his career record to 10-1 against the Devil Rays. Yankees win 8-5. In the series finale, the Yankees were looking for their 3rd consecutive win over the Devil Rays, and in the first inning, Jason Giambi gave them a quick boost, a 2-run homer and a 2-run lead. Tampa Bay would tie it up at 2 on a Damian Rolls double and a Javier Valentin triple. Mike Mussina would settle down from there, and his teammates supported him with a pair of runs in the 7th, off the bat of Raul Mondesi.
See ya! A 2-run home run for Raul Mondesi, and the Yankees lead 4-2.
Newly acquired righty reliever Dan Miceli got out of a jam in the 8th and set it up for Mo in the 9th. Mo picked up his 12th save of the year as the Yankees hold on 4-3, taking 3 of 4 against the Devil Rays. The Yankees next return home for round 2 of the Subway Series. In Game 1, the Mets jumped out to a 2-run lead against David Wells, but the Yankees answered right back in the bottom of the 1st. Hideki Matsui with the 2-run double. Tied at 3 in the 3rd, Jason Giambi stepped into the box and supplied a 2-run double of his own. Despite allowing a dozen hits, David Wells had just enough to gain his 10th win of the season as the Yankees took Game 1 against the Mets 6-4. Saturday, the Yankees and Mets played 2. In the first game at Yankee Stadium, Roger Clemens took the hill seeking career win number 301. Mission accomplished.
The 2-2 struck him out swinging splitter.
At the plate, the Yankees bats gave the Rocket all the run support he needed in the 3rd inning. Hideki Matsui with the grand swing.
2-1 swing. There's a fly ball deep to right field. It's way back there. It's on its way. There it goes. A grand slam for Hideki Matsui. His 2nd grand slam of the season. And the Yankees with a 4-0 lead. How about that?
Matsui drove in a career-high 5 runs, and Roger Clemens went 8 innings, allowing 6 hits, 1 run, striking out 7 in a 7-1 victory in Game 1 of the day-night doubleheader. In the nightcap, both teams boarded their respective buses, crossed the Triborough Bridge, and headed to JAYS Stadium. Right off the bat, the Yankees showed they meant business.
That one's driven out to right field deep again. Going back, Cedeno, looking up, see ya! Back-to-back home runs for the Yankees. They're up 2-0.
Rookie Brandon Clausen made his very first major league start and was impressive right from the get-go. Up 3-0 in the 5th, the Yankees chased Mets starter Tom Glavine from the ballgame. It seemed the Yankees were on cruise control, leading 8-0. But the Mets battled back against the Yankees bullpen and were right on the verge of tying it up at 8. That is, until Alfonso Soriano made a heads-up play. Mo Rivera pitched the final 2 innings for his 13th save of the year, as the Yankees took both games in a rare day-night twin bill, Brandon Clausen getting his first big league victory. In the series finale, it was Jeff Weaver against Al Leiter, Sunday night at the stadium. Jeremy Burnett supplied a vicious blow to the Yankees' hopes in the very first inning, a 3-run homer to right. The Yankees were down, but far from out. In the 3rd, they would use the long ball to their advantage.
Another home run! The Bronx Bombers are bombing away.
The 3rd of the inning.
5-3 Yankees.
That was all the scoring the Yankees and Jeff Weaver would need. The right-hander throwing 7 innings of 3-run ball, and the bullpen handling the rest, as Mariano Rivera and the Yankees took 4 games over the weekend from the Mets. Up next, Joe Torre is recognized by Samsung by some very special guests.
Our father hit 536 career home runs.
One was the longest ever recorded, 565 feet.
In 1974, Mickey was inducted to the Hall of Fame.
A hero on the field and off.
Dad hoped his battle with cancer would encourage all his fans to live a healthier life.
That's why we're helping the American Cancer Society get the word out.
This is for you, Mickey.
This is for you, Mickey.
This is for you, Dad.
To find out how the American Cancer Society can help you or to become a volunteer, call today. You've got the games. Now go online and get the scoop. Go! YesNetwork.com is your source for New York sports, giving you insider access to the Yankees and the Nets.
Longevity, is paying off.
Log on to YesNetwork.com for original features from Yes Network talent and in-depth on-site coverage from every Yankees home game. Then get interactive with daily polls, message boards, and exclusive multimedia clips.
As a player, you love the excitement of New York.
Plus, shop online at the Yes Gear store. YesNetwork.com, your source for New York sports.
The Yankees, both as a team and individually, participate in numerous community and charitable events. Recently, Yankee skipper Joe Torre was honored by Samsung's 4 Seasons of Hope for all of his work with his own organization, the Joe Torre Safe at Home Foundation.
Joe was a great baseball player, is one of the greatest managers in the history of the Yankees or the history of baseball. But the reason we're here today, and this is true of the other 3 great athletes as well, is because there's something else about them, and that is they're caring for people. So it is my great honor and my pleasure to introduce, I believe, the greatest manager in the history of baseball, Joe Torre.
For the 2nd straight year, Samsung's 4 Seasons of Hope program and Joe Torre's Safe at Home Foundation have helped to find and develop educational programs to stop the spread of domestic violence in the home.
Samsung, actually a year ago, put together the 4 Seasons of Hope to help our individual charities. And in my case, actually my wife Allie in my case, really got us off our duff to start a foundation.
After he was diagnosed with prostate cancer, we were paid to do this publicity campaign, and we wanted to take that money and put it towards something that was meaningful to us. And we discussed it, and I thought since Joe was going to be so involved in doing the fundraising that it should be something that was true to his heart. And he thought about it for a few weeks, and he came back and he said domestic violence.
We've always wanted to do something in my mom's name to combat domestic violence, and Samsung's offer and generosity has gotten us to that point, and hopefully we can make a difference. I think the fact that you're interviewing me and that we can attract a lot of attention, maybe you'll be able to get some ears.
Well, we're a startup, and I'd say this is our first year. We were at Samsung's luncheon last May, and this is the 2nd luncheon, so now we're just getting our offices set up, and going forward, hopefully it's going to get busier.
Our mission is to fund and provide programs focused on ending the cycle of domestic violence and saving lives. We are in our inaugural year. We've made an initial grant to the Center Against Domestic Violence in Brooklyn. We gave them a grant of dollars to provide services to women and children that were in crisis, as well as a grant of equipment from Samsung that they can use to build their infrastructure and support their office operations.
When you can take advantage of the fame that you've been given, it gives you a great sense of responsibility, and you feel that, we've discussed it. I've asked Joe several years ago, how does it feel now being as famous as you are? And he says, it's very humbling, and I feel like it is a lot of responsibility, and sometimes when we reflect on our lives and see where we are, we feel that way. It's a tremendous responsibility, and I feel like we have an obligation to give back and to help other people.
In this week's Yankees Magazine Great Moment, we go back to July 4th, 1983, the day Dave Righetti threw a no-hitter against the Boston Red Sox. Rags sat down Sox hitter after Sox hitter, and by the time he got to the 9th, one man stood in his way, Wade Boggs.
He's got just about as tough a man to get out as the Red Sox can put up at the plate. It's the 9th inning. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 40,000 plus people standing and roaring, and Righetti trying to get Boggs. And he gets it! A no-hitter! A no-hitter! A no-hitter for Dave Righetti! How about that? He got the no-hitter! Look at the Yankees batting and grabbing. Dave Righetti pitches the first no-hitter by Yankee since Don Larson in 1956 in the World Series. A perfect game. How about that?
At that time, it was only the 6th no-hitter in Yankees history and the first since 1951. Righetti's no-no, another great moment in Yankees history 10 years ago this week. Coming up, we catch up with Jorge Posada in our Spotlight.
Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching YES.
Exclusively from the home of champions, it's Yankeeography, the YES Network's Emmy-winning series that brings you true stories of true legends.
Whatever Yogi wanted to do, Yogi could do.
It's the names you remember.
Mantle had gifts from God, literally.
From the games you won't ever forget.
Jeter backhands.
Go inside the pinstripes with Yankeeography, only on YES, the home of champions. The greatest names.
Swung on a drill to right field. See ya!
The greatest games.
Deep to left. That's a home run.
Relive the greatest pinstripe moments with Yankees classics, only on YES, the home of champions. Yankees Magazine on YES is presented by the all-new 2004 Nissan Maxima. See it now at your Nissan dealer.
Jorge Posada is one of the elder statesmen of the Yankees roster. Hard to believe how far he's come since he was first called up in 1995. Being a part of 4 World Championship clubs and also making 3 All-Star appearances, Posada continues working hard to improve all facets of his game. This week, the Yankees catcher is in our Spotlight.
You know, catching this staff is very easy. They know how to pitch.
Roger looked as though he was going to throw the splitter. Posada gave him a different sign. It looked like a little cut fastball.
For them to be good, I know what they got to do. So it's very easy to have a plan. When I go to the game, we talk about the lineup we're going to face, and we're going to talk about, you know, the strength of the hitters, and then we go after them.
Swung and a miss. He strung him out. High fastball.
Good job of moving it around. You see Posada move in and up.
You know, sometimes that plan don't work, so you got to go the other way. But they're experienced, and that's very easy for me.
Runner goes, pitches high, the throw to second is in time. Good throw by Posada.
I had surgery in my arm, you know, after 2001. 2002 was, you know, trying to get it, you know, to be healthy again, be 100%, but he wasn't 100%, you know, and try to build up strength and try to be ready for, you know, for the season. Wasn't, you know, he wasn't there. I thought I was 100%, but I wasn't. And when I came to spring training this year, I felt a lot stronger. I felt real comfortable throwing the ball and letting it loose, and no pain. I mean, and it was a good feeling to let it go, and felt like I felt before the surgery.
That one is hit deep to center field. Going back as well. No chance. See ya! A home run. Oh, what a blast. See ya! A home run for Jorge Posada. A 2-run shot. And the Yankees lead 4-0.
I think adjustment was a big thing. You know, try to do the things that I was doing good last year and trying to adjust from the things that I did bad. You know, got a guy on base, second and third, nobody out, and I didn't drive him in. I didn't put the ball in play. I could put the ball in play and hit a ground ball to second, and I still drive a guy in. Those are the things that I wanted to do this year. I'm still going to leave guys on base. You know, I'm human, but try to be better at having a good plan at the plate and adjust, you know, day to day, and you know, get stronger and just have a good plan at the plate.
If it's there, it's gone. See ya! A home run for Jorge Posada. A 2-run shot, and the Yankees lead 4-2.
When you're in the lineup like we have right now, you know, even missing Bernie, you got Soriano get on base, and you got Derek Jeter get on base, and then the big guys come around and they drive the guys in. We know we're going to score 3 or 4 runs every day. So that makes my job a lot easier when I'm behind the plate, so I can call a good game and say that, well, I got 2 or 3 runs that I can afford to lose, and I'm going to throw a pitch right here that maybe, you know, get hit hard or you know, nobody on base, I'm going to come right after a guy, or whatever it takes to win games, and that's what we're doing now.
Jorge Posada has vastly improved behind the plate from a year ago, and his newfound confidence defensively, along with that potent bat of his, makes him one of the best all-around catchers in the game today. That's going to do it for this week's edition of Yankees Magazine. We'll see you again next week for more action on and off the field. I'm Fred Hickman. So long, everybody.
The proceeding has been an exclusive presentation of the YES Network.